We got family. All right. You know what's funny? I'm just actually good show today. Big up, fire. Big up, J Van. Big up, Katari, and big up everyone else who's live in the place. Got a good show today. Javan, I haven't even put a finger. Well, we can discuss what you want to discuss. I'm sure it's connected to what we're saying. Let me now actually, because I'm just literally getting it now. Let me actually. Did I? You know what? I haven't even set up the stuff for the stuff. So the show we on what 160. Yeah, that's good. Got the PDF in there. So far, so good. Yeah, we're gonna good show today. I wanted to continue the show we did last week, as in, continue. It was a very good, thrilling show, but a topic came up that seems to have gone viral, and it correlates with what we've been talking about. At least I've been talking about on shows. So we're gonna unpack it. Meanwhile, let me find these videos I've downloaded. I've just downloaded it now. Here we go. Download. There we go. Just put all it's quite a lot of them. I'm gonna have to sift through these and find the right one, but I'm sure I'll be fine. Cool. Okay. Don't forget to tell a friend to friend we're live. Man, I'm gonna find that PDF. Share screen. Here it is. Da da da. And where is it? It's that one there. Voila. Hello, family. Welcome to the Black Band Broadcast. This is the 260th show. Yep, we are sharing screen. Excellent. Should I get rid of it? Let me keep these just in case I download something again. And yeah, okay. And, there you go. So don't forget to follow the Black Batman building. Meanwhile, let me actually pin this in here as well. Copy. And there. That's me. All right. Boom. Hello from America. Oh, you didn't catch last show. That's all right. The good thing about the shows, family, is that they're always recorded, so you can go check them out. But we're gonna catch, we'll go over what you missed anyway. Not that it's much. So yeah, let's see. Let's go. Let's start as we all start. Then we'll get to the show. So we talk about the retroactive expectations, and what is that? We remember because because black people. We want to recover from the many atrocities, and the topic we've got today, the reason it's there is because of the historical atrocities. Sometimes you have to remember the atrocities inflicted upon the ancestors and community in the past, and present and behave in a way that reflects this, right? And also to connect, we have to connect with black people locally and globally, and form networks to teach each other about the different cultures. We have to also repair the black community for historical trauma. We love that today, that causes self-hate challenges and health issues. So see, everything we say is connected to this, right? And rebuild. We have to rebuild the black family, black economics, and black nations. That's right. The retroactive expectations. This is something that our ancestors thought we should be doing when they were being murdered. Unfortunately, that's what they thought. Don't forget now, in order to do that, we need a kind of guide to help us, uphold that. And the guide that we present here is the Black Betterment lifestyle. That's right. It's a single solution of a lifestyle that black people continuously helping black people. That's what we promote on the show. That's the solution to black problems, like training a lifestyle, a way of life that is constantly looking for solutions and fixing the historical atrocities. Oh, yes. That is right. Okay. So we focus on black families, black economics, and black health. I've got a lot of videos, and I don't know if one of them might get stuff flagged, so I'm not sure. But if you jump into talk today, don't forget about the 4D values, which is discipline, dedication, dignity, and discernment. If you can remember those, communication will be just more easier when it comes to working with black people. That's the truth there. So discipline, dedication, dignity, and discernment. If you can remember that, you're doing good. Let me actually pin that as well. Okay. Try not to use any kind of derogatory language when you come in if possible. And it's very hard. It's very hard for so many to not do that. But it makes finding solutions easier, and it lowers the anxiety triggering that goes on. So if you could do that, that'd be fantastic. Now, where is my page for that? I'm just gonna find. Give me 7 seconds for it. Why is this not working? There we go. Live. I'm just trying to find something. I used to have a shortcut up there, but it's not there anymore. How odd. That's very odd. That's very odd. Okay, well, whatever. Let me go to the Black Betterment I had a shortcut just for this reason, family. Anyway, yeah, blah blah blah. Black Band broadcast. It should be live. I'm just pinning. There we go. Live. There it is. Live. I hear myself. It's been muted. Excellent. And then I should find the post I've done there. My internet is slow today. Whatever. That we'll wait for that to fix. Oh, it's a bit weird. Whatever. All right, cool. Let's now find a fantastic video. So there's no videos from the. We're gonna go straight into it. Very important topic, so we'll go straight into it. Big up everyone who's live. Don't forget to tell a friend we're live. The topic today is, yeah, what percentage of black men have disdain for black women? We review footage of online black men showing disdain for black women and discuss, repercussions and solutions. Okay, so it's not really gonna. It's just really one video that's circulating, really, but yeah, it's just the way we worded it. Where is this thing, man? I mean, This website is just annoying me now because it should just give me the badly built website. Oh, here we go. There it is. Found it. Give me 7 seconds, fam, to pin this message. I should really have hi family, but that's not that one. It's this one here. All right, found it. Now I've pinned it, so now you guys can do it. Good. That's been pinned, so I can now leave that. Yeah, excellent. Good. Cool. So let's find this fantastic video that we're going to review. Now, I've got so many videos, good, so I just have to find the right first one to start. Let's see if I can find it, and I'll give you a back. You guys probably know more than me than what's going on. So let me see if I can find it, Elder. No. It might be this one. No, it's not that one. Is that one? No. I think it's that one.
Here's why I don't think before anybody. No.
Yeah, this might be it. Let's see. So I'm gonna stop. Found it.
No. Here's why.
So this guy's cool. I think it's Ginger J, something like this. Yeah, J Ginger. No, Ginger J. I've commented on his comment. I've spoke to him, or at least on his comments one time. He was doing some kind of like homosexual comedy routine, and I questioned something, and then but that was the length for the comedy he was doing. So that's the last time I remember seeing him. And yeah, he's just gone viral for I guess openly showing his disdain for black women and all the historical tropes that people do when they do that, as well as saying he's okay because he's got a non-black woman and this is the savior of his life kind of stuff. So let's have a listen to what he's saying and see if we can unpack it.
No. Here's why I don't date black women. Listen to me when I'm talking to you lot.
I'm listening.
Because you lot don't like to listen. I don't date black women because you don't like to get put in your place.
Which place?
Your place.
Which
and when you
place?
get put in your place, you think you got taught like a man.
That's why they were cheating on you then.
You're not men.
That's why they were
Watch
cheating
this.
on you.
Stay in your place.
Cheated on you multiple times.
Yeah, I know.
Because
I know. And that's why I'm never going to be in your pom
That's why you
ever
have to
again.
dip out the pool.
I'm not with black
Because
women
you
because you don't like to get put in your place.
Apologies,
Listen,
sir.
listen. Apologies where?
Apologies.
Oh, you just wait. Did she just shoot? Did she just shoot?
What kind of
Did she just shoot? Go. Where's your hair? Where's your hair? Where's your hair?
Once you talk about black women's hair, you're on your own, my guy. You're on your own. I was with you. Like, he's allowed to have a preference. He's trying to talk about how she's held him down and picking up his Asian queen. But the moment you went for the hair, my guy, you was on your own. You're going to have to deal with it. Yeah. You're going to have to deal with this by yourself, my brother.
Take off your head,
triggered.
Where's your hair?
You're triggered.
Where's your hair?
Where
I'm
was I
triggered.
supposed to hurt?
I said I was
You're
triggered.
triggered.
Did I not say I was triggered? Where's your hair?
No.
Where's your hair?
Look at where's your hair?
Show me your hair.
No. He's
Show me your hair.
pressed. He's
Show me your hair.
pressed.
Take off your eyelash. Take off your eyelash.
You're pressed.
Take off your makeup.
You're pressed because you got cheated on 1, 2, 3, 4.
Where? Watch
1,
this.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
6, 7, 8.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
Jumped it.
And I'll bring my natural hair
Jumped
Indian woman in here now.
And then what?
she looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on your ground.
But the crowd got silent. The crowd
Out
got
here with
silent.
fake hair, fake
The crowd got silent.
Right, so that's Ginger J. You showing he's funny enough. He's a profession. A profession he's trying to get into is a stand-up comedian, or comedian of some type, I think. And yeah, these kind of shows, they don't do anyone any kind of like, it really is clickbait shows, whatever. And the type of men they have on them, well, they're of the show, right? You know, they'll have no community connection. You know, at the very least, they love the concept of preferences, and they won't see any error in like black men screaming at black women on TV or internet. They won't see any error in that, and you can tell by the way they're cheering them on or laughing or whatever it is. Um, yeah, you know, this is historical trauma, whether it is problematic. So yeah, this is this is very error prone, and you know, and I think this. I mean, I think this is a guy. I think he went to jail for a few years for some kind of something, and I think in that jail he was traumatized, and he's come out, and I think he tried to start something new with comedy or something. I don't know. So let's get some of there's been obviously people responding to it. So let's see if we've got any response to it. Hold on.
I don't think that no. Don't be that question.
Let's see if we can unpack.
Right, I just saw that Ginger J clip, right? Serious question to the non-black women that date black men that think like this. How do you feel when you see those? Because you see me, if I was his Asian girlfriend, I can't watch that and be like, that is my man. Like hear him talking about another group of women like that. Like if I was dating a white guy and he was like, I can't stand white women, I would be like, yo, chill the fuck out, everybody, because that's your own woman, they're your own people. Like, do you or is it just, do you feel like the prize? And I don't know who this girl is, I've never seen her, but you can't like, I'll bring my Asian girl with her long hair. Do you not feel fetishized? Like, I'm not talking to her directly.
Yeah. So that's obviously one thing there. Like, you know, the black men have the preferences of the non-black woman, the Asian, the European, whatever. Do they feel special when they see their husband or their men going on the internet or in public, berating, degrading their own people group? I mean, some of them probably do it in the relationship, and you know, who knows, right? Interesting, very interesting dynamic there. Yeah, went to jail for 11 years. Yeah, he did. That is right. And obviously, yeah, I mean, it probably shows, maybe. I don't know. Like, unfortunately, with prisons, if you don't do any kind of like reformative, you can be in arrested development, and you know, if you go for 11 years, you might be 11 years younger. You know, depending on when you end there, right? So let's see what else we have. Remove that. Let's see if there's any other stuff of this. Where are we?
Before anybody else, here's why I don't.
It's another sister talking about it.
Don't date black women. Listen to me when I'm talking.
Let's skip all that. There we go. So let's just
Can we all stop pretending that what we watched there is entertainment? It's not. It's the public humiliation of young black women for views and clicks. A black man shouting in a young black woman's face, weaponizing her hair as an insult and reducing her to nothing more than a stereotype. That's not a new tactic, big man. I'm so sorry. No, that's inherited from your slave masters. Yeah, that kind of nasty rhetoric trickles straight down from slavery, when black women's voices were silenced and our hair was covered or shaved in order to try and erase our identity and our pride. So whilst that little hobbit of a man might think that he's speaking for himself, he's actually reading from a very old script written for him by white supremacists. And the danger isn't even in this one exchange, it's that millions are going to watch that clip and see black women being torn down, mocked and called ugly yet again, and treated as less than in comparison to our straighter haired counterparts, and think that it is completely normal, because that is what the internet continues to tell us. Our pain and trauma keeps getting turned into spectacle like it's one big joke, usually from those within our own community, while those causing the damage and spreading the trauma get to kiki and walk away calling it content. And God forbid we decide to open up our mouths and say something to stand up for ourselves, our sisters, our mothers, our daughters, and we're angry, right? We talk like men. That's what he said, right? We talk like men, we're intimidated. Here's the truth. Black women do not need to be put in their place. We are the place. We are the blueprint. And the more the world tries to convince us otherwise, ladies, is the more we must remind them. The two things we need to do next is get that man some water because he looks parched. Maybe some therapy as well. Secondly, we need to all be pre-ordering a copy of my new book, How to Love Your Afro. Because the whole reason I wrote the book in the first place is for those with eyes to see and ears to hear to try and reduce and minimize the number of race-based crash outs like the one we saw at the beginning of the video.
Big up the sister. I've noticed this from I've noticed podcasts that you have been attacking black women mainly, yet give praise to everyone else. Yeah, I mean this is something that you're going to see consistently. Like I said, when I said that black men haven't recovered from being conquered by white men, this is to start that campaign to recognize it, to recognize that the trauma that we've gone through and what we collectively are doing on these platforms, you will not see the equivalent of it in other people groups because they haven't been as traumatized, and that's why I attack this concept of preference. So what happens is black men will want to fetishize other non-black women and idolize them more, so I should say, more idolize and really, really be in marvel of what the white and the Asian man have created. And then they'll use, preference as their kind of guideline, whatever it is. But then you see 4 seconds later, they're berating and degrading black women. So it shows you already that there's something going on there. But we know this is not a super science. And I think we have to call it out, as in, like, before people will come, like, people have their preferences. But, now you have to start calling from the concept of, like, these are people groups, right? So, and there's a history of people groups interacting, and it's never been good. Collectively, black people have no friends. So if you find that a black person's preference is one of the groups that despises or historically have harmed black people, do you see the equivalent of that when it comes to Jewish and Palestinian conflict? Do you see the equivalent of that when it comes to Nazis and Jewish conflict? Do you see the equivalent of that in any kind of, like, Middle Eastern or whatever conflicts going on? We have two people groups, and they find themselves around each other. And one of the group that was most oppressed has a strong loving for the women group of the ones that most oppressed them. But yet, when you talk to that collective group, they think as a collective. How we know this? Because if you ever mention reparations, they will get on code and say we don't support it. But black men, unfortunately, unsynchronized black men, that is, they do not acknowledge this. They think of the individual concept. And, they say love is love and all this kind of, Shakespeare philosophy with it. And this is the byproduct of not understanding what's really going on. And you'll get plenty more of this. And that's why men of this kind of caliber, you see them in the show, not one of them will go, hold on, this is too much. Like, hold on, this is a lot. Let's calm down, whatever it is. I think this gentleman was so in his feelings that I think they carried a recording after the show. Oh, so where's this thing going on? And he was still kind of like flipping around and stuff. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, this is him after the event. That's all I believe. I don't know.
Because they're black. I fucking told you, Carl. This fucking black thing fucking annoys me, bro. Black, I'm black, so you have to fucking love me. No, I fucking don't. Fucking black women.
So he's having a mental breakdown, whatever it is, after the show. And remember, this is a stand-up comedian, so the idea is someone like him is meant to be able to take ribs or whatever it might be and improvise on stage. And I think it's interesting because the last time we covered a stand-up comedian losing their mind, like in a live performance or whatever, or in a social event, there was that guy from what's that show? There was another one American show, Seinfeld. There was a Jewish guy, and I think he made some racist joke towards black people, and I think they heckled him. Then he started literally losing his mind, talking about 100 years ago you'd be hanged upside down in a tree with a fork here and there, all this kind of stuff he was saying, and he couldn't stop himself. He literally just went complete full white supremacist on live show, and this brother's showing his disdain for black women, and obviously self-hate as well. He generally thought it was a flex to say, I have an Asian woman, the Asian man is successful at making the Asian woman something I like, it's a very interesting behavior, but let's kind of listen.
Also, always fucking black women on some high horse.
we forgive the swearing, by the way, but obviously we're doing a case study, so you're gonna hear it.
Do some black woman shit. Do some black.
Once again, you see why we say it's very important that when you're trying to find solutions, you don't swear, because it shows control and discipline. And unfortunately, we're going to stick on black men. This is one of the challenges we find amongst many black men, is our challenge to remain stoic, controlled, disciplined. If we say swearing should be reserved for a certain kind of time, like not public or not in whatever it is. But if you can't do it, then that shows that you lack of control.
Women shit to make me fucking respect you as a fucking black woman. You're all sitting there and you done shit for no fucking black woman in your life. The fuck out of here. Black women respect black women. You don't even fucking respect.
If this is how he is on the show, I hope he has family and loved ones to look out for him, because he's spazzing out on the show, and like they're trying to calm him down, but he's rambling at this point.
Respect yourself. I think it's just. You haven't even got fucking black extensions on your hair. The fuck we talking about?
And this is a comedian, by the way.
About I hate my mom.
So yeah, this using women's hair as a weapon, and we're gonna unpack it, because there's many black men, when we try to talk about preferences or loving black women or fixing the community or being accountable, many black men go, but what about black women's hair? And this is now one of the kind of go-to excuses that our brothers go to because being a man is hard. Being a man is hard. Being a manager, a leader, a provider, all this kind of stuff is very challenging. And sometimes the easiest thing a man can do is compete with a woman. So it's the easiest thing you can do. Like, trying to get a woman angry and say, look, you're angry, you're mad, you mean, whatever. But one thing that these men struggle to do is actually compete with men. So there's other black men, it's one thing, but then generally men of other communities. And that's why, this reform is very important, to try to get black men to think as a collective, learn skills and build a black community, instead of this kind of like very easygoing kind of like, love has no color and I'm me, I'm independent kind of stuff. But obviously, we're dealing with trauma, so this is what we say. Listen to other races of men who speak like this to their own women, regardless of not attractive or not. Yeah, self-hate. Yeah. It's very important, and we need to get like constructive men, just in a room or online or something, just to draw a line and say, look, this is what the expectations of the community. Big up, brother Dominic, and big up all the other brothers and sisters live in the place.
I hate black women. How can I hate black women when I just told you I come from one and I'm...
That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't matter where you come from. You're openly showing disdain. So that's what's actually happening. You're actually showing disdain. Big up Ebbs. But yeah, this is like I said, this is more widespread than unfortunately many people want to admit. And I suspect these type of shows is like a breeding ground for these kind of men, these kind of behavioral patterns. And that's why that's why I say that it's almost like when you watch if you watch like these kind of shows on the internet or the news where they're talking about Palestine and something like this, right? They always say that, we have to make sure we have one person who represents Palestine and one person who represents Israel or whatever. So it isn't just people just one-sided talking. But when these kind of chat shows, there's absolutely nobody who is pro-black. There's nobody who has black love or nobody. What you tend to have is you have a whole lot of men who believe in love has no color and preferences, but they're all with an Asian or white woman. And then you have a whole lot of black women who only want to be with black men. So it's like, it's a very, very, it shows you from a collective standpoint who unfortunately is more suffering from the conquering process. And this is what I talk about when I go to shows. And obviously, it does ruffle people the wrong way, but obviously, unfortunately, no one can step to me, because that in order to step to me, you have to research and you have to be a man, and this is the challenge that we're facing, that people would rather run for myself than rather let's actually tackle what Raven is saying so we can find a solution. We get no brownie points for going on internet spaces, losing control and degrading our women. This makes absolutely no sense. Let's carry on listening. Besides cursing, I don't see anything he said that's wrong. All right, Jeff. Well, you feel free to jump in so we can discuss this, brother, because maybe you might make some sense. We'll see. Maybe we can learn from the ideology that makes sense. But let's break that down.
Empress. My mom's an empress. I don't like the way how my mother moves. So why would I pick a woman that moves like my mother? The fuck are we talking about?
What he said? Why would I pick a person who moves like my mother? Yeah. So the fact that he cannot control himself while he's talking about his mother and stuff shows that obviously it's running problem. And the thing is, we have a hierarchy of protection, right? So women and children have to be protected no matter what. It's just like the foundation of being a man. But also, vulnerable men need to be protected. So when vulnerable men start mistreating women and children, then you have to go through. First, you have to apologize and fix that. Then we can deal with the trauma you're dealing with. Big up, brother Katari. Welcome to the show. Good to see you here, brother Black Betterment.
Black Betterment King, Black Betterment everyone. Yeah, crazy work King. Continue, man.
But because we're black, I can't say that, right?
Right, Jeff Shaw, if like I said, you agree with the philosophy of Ginger J, and I suspect of all the gentlemen who tend to go on these shows. So feel free to jump on because we might learn from you and maybe you're correct. So whenever you want, just click on the link that's stick at the top. Maybe we can learn from you.
Because I'm a black thing, I can't talk about black women like that, right? And I can't date out my race, right? Because I'm black. Fuck that, take your black shit to yourself, man. Take your black shit home.
Once again, you won't see this behavior pattern in any kind of people group outside the black community. This is obviously we haven't recovered from being conquered by other groups, and that's why this kind of like, kumbaya universal, well, why would I have an idea that makes me stick with my people? Why would I want to unite with my people or spread love for my woman? No, that's a simple idea.
It's like I'm not black, I'm fully black. My parents are black, darker than you, my boy. What are you talking about? Fucking black women always do this shit. I'm a black woman, so you must hate me because you don't want to fuck me. I don't want to fuck you because you don't fucking behave yourself. Black women don't fucking behave themselves. So I don't fuck you. You don't have to fucking behave yourself. Sit the fuck down. Shut up. I'm talking to you. Who are you talking to? I'll call my...
Because this guy is having a crisis in a public place, and I maybe they use this kind of behavior, but this is obviously a concern. But we'll carry on.
Brothers, call your brother, I'll wet him up now. And they call their brothers, and what happens? You've now got beef with their family because she's got brothers, and they taught her how to be a bad girl.
I don't know if you said that.
I'm a chatting shit. And then now you've got a baby man, you've got beef with her family. I'm a chatting shit. Because you're black.
We're joined by Jeff. Welcome, brother Jeff. Welcome to the Black Man Broadcast.
What's going on, man? Thanks for it.
It's good to hear. So now, brother Jeff, I don't know if you're familiar with Ginger J or what this kind of show all is, and obviously these are just clips. I think I've got the full clip, but I don't know if I can actually play it because I don't know if the copyright. I'm not too sure, but I've got it. But yeah, you said that from the things you heard him say, that his delivery was a bit of a problem, but the actual content was fine. Do you want to unpack that so we can maybe understand it better what you're saying?
Yeah, no, I'm not familiar with the guy. I'm in here in America. I didn't even know he was a comedian or whatever. But like I said, the things that he was saying, they got triggered when he started talking about them knowing their place, and it's like even I guess the red pill, and I ain't a part of none of that. The red pill, the feminism, all this type of thing. When people use the word submissive or submission when it comes to relationship, women get triggered. But it's not in the aspect of being a doormat for somebody. It's like everybody has a role to play. So he was just saying that, and when he mentioned the hair. Me being from America, and it was just kind of like you hear, women say, well, all the real men that are a real man to do this, and that. But then, like, when he brought up the simple things like that's not even your hair, those are not even your lashes. You're not even presenting yourself as 100% to in the moment. And he said, as a man, I'm coming to you with, and he started pointing to his own hair. As a man, we had to come pretty much as we are. So, but like I said, it was just his delivery, and when he was just speaking about the fact of women need to know their place, and when he said women need to know their place, the lady, that's when the yelling began, and she was like, "What place? What place?" And that triggered something in them. The independent woman mindset, not that in the long run it doesn't work, but like I said, I mean, I don't know this guy, never heard his content. I didn't know he was a comedian, but what he was saying I didn't see nothing wrong with it. It just, I guess it was just delivery, and it's like certain trigger words like submission and knowing your place that kind of triggers, women when they, yeah.
Thanks for I'll say this. I think two things can be true at once, right? And
I agree.
I think what tends to happen, especially in these spaces, and you did mention the red pill, and some of these gentlemen, they were in that scene for a long time, whether it was some of them, right? And
Right.
what tends to happen is people they use these think tropes as weapons to try to silence people, right? So as a concept, yeah, a community can value that men lead, men provide, women be submissive, and you work as a unit. We can work that. But when it comes to these contexts where I think the topic of the show was if black men only want to date non-black women, does it highlight any kind of self-hate, right? And then in the conversation, what I've noticed about these women here as well, and the women who responded, they managed to critique this gentleman here without actually berating black men as a whole, right? Well, he couldn't talk to the sister about her behavior pattern to him, right? Without like this I actually watched a bit of the show before it came on. Like I only see a few seconds, but they were talking about a biracial woman's experience of being raised in a black household with her mom had to move there, and he was just randomly saying, I don't date black women, and he was just saying it. I was like, this is very random for him to keep saying that. And then I haven't seen the whole show, but I've seen the clips. I expect that is somehow maybe triggering of why it went there. But maybe we'll get time to watch more if we get time with it, right? But if look at him now, he's not in control now, right? He was in control then. He is not in the right space to try to lead and deliver. Let's just say that this issue of hair and eyelashes is like the number one issue in the community. It is not, right? But let's say it is. Let's say it is an issue, right? He isn't in position to lead angry. It's just like when people want to discipline their kids with beats, right? We can support maybe beats as a community. But if someone is out of control, furious and angry, and they're just throwing brooms and sticks and tables, this is not the condition to discipline your kids. So if he really wants to stand on the square, like I really love natural hair, natural eyelashes, just say that was what he really was about. Well, there's a way to present it. You have to understand the historical reason why people do a certain thing. You don't have to be able to look at the concept and go, is this a concept that is only done in my community? No. Women all over the world wear lashes and weaves and stuff like that, right? And you have to put
not like our community though. But like I said, it goes back to they would trigger. And once when one lady said, what place, and then it was a lady next to her, and so they begin to yell. And we know you're not going to get anywhere. He was trying to get his point over, but it's like, okay, now I'm being double teamed before what I said, and he was like basically 1 versus 2. I mean, like I said, I'm not taking up for him. I'm not saying he was right in his wording. Another day, it was just like, how can I help you if I see a issue or problem that's bringing you down, and it's a hurdle in your life, and I'm trying to help you, and I'm giving you the raw, adulterated truth about it, but you go into defense mode.
Well, the thing is, and this is like this. Remember, I did this work for eons and years, right? And I talked to so many brothers, and I see this pattern, right? And the pattern is black women angry. They don't wear natural hair and makeup, whatever it might be, and they're not submissive, right? Now, what I'm saying is, before we can approach those topics, right? So me personally, beauty is beauty. People can be with no hair, false hair, afro, whatever. So it's never an issue of beauty, right? But we have to know the history. Like, what is the history of black women wearing weaves, right? What is the history? History. Now, if the history is connected to enslavement, trauma, error-prone branding, whatever it might be, or anti-black sentiments, whatever. If there's any form of connection, right, then that means the solution cannot come through shouting and screaming, right? Because you have to acknowledge that these cultural practices, whether they look good or look bad, there is a history of why things are done in a certain way, right? So as the leader group, the management group, the men, right, to try to approach it from I'm going to shout and scream in an angry way and be aggressive, and this aggression is me loving you, it doesn't work that way. Yeah,
I get it. I mean, I guess my thing is the the message was right. It just wasn't received from who was delivering it.
Well, yeah. Well, the thing is, once again, I think, as you can see here, as he's saying now, he's obviously enraged, and
Yeah, he's heated now. You know what I'm saying? Because it got out of hand. And I get it. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying about the. You're not going to get anywhere with the arguing back and forth and the yelling this out. I get it, but again, I just don't think what he was saying.
We have to. I think what we're gonna do as a community, because black men really are missing ball here, right? And what is we have to look at what is a hot topic for black men, and what is a hot topic for black women. So we have to be honest. Like, this issue here triggers us for this reason, and vice versa, right? And then we have to have a way to approach it, because I've never seen this topic ever go smooth, ever.
Right. True.
Ever,
You're right.
right?
I agree with you. I agree.
Ever, right? And that means when things can't go right, that means there is a trauma connected to it. Yeah. And what's happening there's we're now playing trauma dominoes, right? So we have to start with what's the trauma and how that hits that trauma. We have to unpack each one. Yeah, each one.
Right.
What I'm aware of this topic, right? This topic is actually I think they said, if black men don't date black women, does it mean they're self-hating? So that might trigger a lot of black men. I don't know, right?
Right.
And somehow, because I haven't seen the whole video, it turned up into that topic where you've got fake hair, you're not submissive, right? You're not submissive.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're gonna do, let's listen to some other people responding, then we can jump in and get more. Let's see if we get more. See what other people have said and see what the other.
Here's why I anybody else. Here's why I don't think.
I'm just trying to find out.
Oh, did you see how? But they correct. You lot. So
Yeah, this one. Hold on.
I have a donor of the day, possibly a donor of the decade, and it goes to Ginger J, who thought that it was okay to go on Backchat London and show his disdain and think that it was all right to disrespect black women. Yeah. Donor of the day also goes to the men who gave him a safe space to think that it was all right to disrespect black women. Donor of the day also goes to the women on the panel who thought that he weren't talking to you lot and you lot were also black women. Donor of the day also goes to the girls that were laughing, that like to dress like black women but think that it's funny when they disrespect black women. When I tell you self-hate is real, because Ginger Dre is actually mad because he didn't get the blackness that he actually really wanted. We can go preference for preference all day long with the guys, because those guys on the panel, enough of them don't meet anyone's preference. Some women like men over 6 foot tall with a deep voice, with a lot of bass, authority, money in the bank. Do you understand what I'm saying? Assets, etc., etc. Do you understand? Stability and them things. So I don't know what anyone's talking about. We care less about preference, because at the end of the day, that type of pool definitely ain't for me. I wish I was on that episode to fix you the way that you needed to be fixed. You're an angry black female. You're the type of woman that you don't want to date. You are. Look in the mirror. How dare you tell a girl to take off her wig and show you your real hair, then get all fired up and take off your hat, forgetting that your hair don't start to the middle of your hair. What are you doing? You lot are absolute donuts. Donut of the day.
I think that's Sister Cream from her own church. She's not seeing the best pleased with it. Hold on, let's see. I think there was a guy. I don't know who he was. I don't know what he was saying, but I did download it.
Look at this big ginger.
I don't want to get into name calling, but I think let's not.
Gingerbread. You're probably at home thinking you done something good. Talking to the man, I'm like, yo, look at the numbers, bro. It's going mad. On some clown thing. No coincidence that you're a comedian. That's funny. Because man always think they need to justify dating out of their race by dissing up the sisters them. What did she do to deserve that? Why are you talking to her like that? Why so much aggression, bro? I've never even seen you talk to one of the men them like that. Why are you talking to her like that? And no one don't care that you date out of your race. No one don't care about that. It's when you justify it by dissing black women, bro. And I don't have that same problem as you. Women listen to me. Not like they have to be put in their place, but they listen to me, bro. I get along with them on big old internet at a time like this. This is what happens when you're just out there for clout. When all you care about is numbers. You don't give a fuck about your impact. You have to realize that these messages reach many people, bro. And that's not a good message to put out there. Man, them, stop dissing up the sisters, then, bro. I have to call it what it is. To be fair, I want to say much worse. I honestly want to say much worse, but two wrongs don't make a right. So, what? We're going to call it out, we're going to call it what it is. You're wrong for that, bro. For that, you get the biggest bumper hole of the month award. Or until someone does something more stupid than that. We are the only race of people on planet Earth that openly talk about and celebrate not dealing with our own people.
It's a very important point that the brother said there. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You see, like, this is now a pattern. And all across, in regardless of what country it is, this anti-black within the community group is quite widespread. And this is what it's a part of.
That's like an elephant saying I don't fuck elephants. It don't make no sense. Think about how hard it is for the man them in the world. Now think about how hard it is for our sisters. Because they stand behind us and get even worse because their own men say this about them. That's not nice, bro. That is not nice at all. Ginger, you fucked up and I have to call it out. And it is what it is. Hear me now, because who don't hear must feel, and who does hear will heal. Positive is the new gangster, brother. And we love our women over here.
Yeah, I've got the show here, you know, fam, Dominic. So we might play a bit of it. We've also got I've got a video of him talking to some sisters in a forum. And I've also got one of him. What is that? Is that me? Yeah. I also got one of him. I think. So this was this one.
You want this special?
Yeah, this one. I think this is him. I think he made an apology and then
watched it. You lot have watched it, right? Cool. There's a thing on Instagram circulating about my apology yesterday. Yes, I apologize for my actions because my temper went way too. I should have controlled my temper. That is it. That is it. And that is all I'm apologizing for. Let's be very clear here. Everything I said was true. Everything I said was true, and everything I said was a fact because I was talking about me. I stated clearly at the beginning, it's about me. I stated clearly twice, I'm not generalizing, it's about the women I've dated. It's about me. They asked me questions about me, not about the world, about me. It was all about me. I kicked off about me. I didn't kick off about generalizing. So, anybody that's upset with generalizing, that's on you. I didn't generalize all black women. I said, take off your wig. I said, show me your hair. And I've said it numerous times in my life. Numerous times because I love to see black hair. I love it. It's better than the wigs. So take off your wig and show me your hair. Because I'm tired of you being fake. Okay, simple as that. That's one thing explained. Whether you like it or not, that's what I said. And that's why I said it. I'm not the first black man to say it. I'm not the last.
So we recognize this man's going through trauma, right? But when men don't recognize that what they're doing is triggering and they expect to get results, you're going to find yourself in the same place. And this is the issue I'm going to have. This like that wasn't an apology. I don't think he really cares what it is. And he hasn't put himself in a humble position where he can recognize what he's done and how it's causing an issue. Yeah, like I said, two things can be right. Yeah, there's preferences and there's behavioral patterns of a collective group, right? If it's like if black women came together and they wanted to weaponize black men's lack of leadership and lack of ownership. Yeah, they are right. They will be right, isn't it? But there's also a historical context of why that is. And
they do.
They do.
We just happen not to be on this particular show, but I don't know how. And looking at this guy, you say he's a comedian over there.
That's what he says he is. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we have a guy over here in America by the name of Corey Holcomb. He's a comedian, and if you were to listen to him, with your eyes closed, you would think this Ginger J guy was speaking because he says the exact same thing about black women, about the hair, the lashes, I mean, we have it over here, and so he would just, and like I said, I'm a fan of natural hair. I teach my daughters I don't like weave and lash. I teach my daughters that they're beautiful in their natural state. And so when he was saying that, and when you go back and play the clip, when he was talking to the guys, I mean the ladies on the show, you see how they was dancing and mocking when he was trying to get his point across, and that was making him heated. But it was just like, how are we going to talk to our sisters when they don't want to listen? And like I said, maybe not on this show, but there are shows in America, or podcasts or whatever, that is a panel for the women and talk about what men don't do, can't do, and why, if you ain't got 6 figures, 6 feet tall, and it's out there.
No, you're talking about women in the red pill, reverse place where they want to have the 10% man or whatever it is, right?
It's not even that. If you, it ain't got to be that type of subject. You just bring up why so many beautiful women single, and they are going to dive into I can't find a man that does it. So it's on both sides, and like I agree with your premise of the show. But how are we going to get to a solution if it's constantly a back and forth?
Well, I'm gonna unpack it for you, right? So 2 things. One, you're talking about blue pill ideology between man and woman. What we're taking here is actually between black man and black woman. So the blue pill ideology is actually something that, and this is what I've noticed as well, because there actually was there used to be a black red pill movement, right? And there was all those kind of fresh and fit, and the guy passed away, unfortunately. Kevin Samuels, and a few others, right? There's a few others, some guys. But what happened is, obviously, infighting and being upholding white supremacist ideologies and getting white supremacists on their shows, and it not really going the way they wanted to go. It kind of, it didn't really land where they wanted to land, right? But what you tend to find is there's a conversation between men and women that the red pill do, and then there's how black men are treating black women in the red pill space, right? Where you have black men who separate black women from women and target them. Fresh and Fit did it that's their kind of MO, where they say they're the worst in this kind of stuff, right? And there's others who do something. There's a guy from England who's on that panel. I forgot his name. He sits in there. He was on a show with his European girlfriend, and then there was another European guy there who said, "You're a black man, you're dating a white woman. She's now an outcast," and the white host and everyone who thought was his friend all co-signed the stuff they were saying. And this happens a lot, where black people want to be included, and how they want to be included. If I berate my black woman or black people in general, then I can be included in this white movement, this white space, and then they get their kind of like black man wake up call, where it's not going to happen that way, right? And this is what I'm trying to get out. What you're saying is a very good point, right? There's these fundamentals that black men are saying. They say black men are saying, and it doesn't seem to land with, say, black women, right? Now, what tends to find is, when I go to like speaking stuff, I'll be talking to men about how men can improve, and it's a man conversation. Like, men, we've got to have ownership. We've got to learn teach one skills. We've got to, marry within the community, blah 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 blah. And then someone will go, yeah, but what about black women? And already that is not a leadership quality, where you're trying to fix something and someone is now pointing to the women in the group, like, but what are they going to do? Yeah, it doesn't work. Right. Like how leadership works. And once again, if you talk to people who are successful at management and leadership, is women tend to fall in line when they see progress, right? So if they see black men doing powerful things and making progress, they will support. Especially in the digital space, when it comes to supporting and funding and stuff, you tend to find a lot of that is actually black women. Black women have a very, very big, powerful support-like mechanism, right? Especially funding and this kind of thing. So that's how you do it. But what we're seeing here is you have black men, like you just mentioned, this Corey gentleman, this comedian, another comedian, right? And I've heard his show, and this thing and blinding and berating, this cruel love kind of ideology. That's not the best strategy to try to fix women. I would recommend we do that for men, but we don't do that for men. It seems for men, we don't have that kind of cruel love, kind of tough love ideology. We reserve that for women. This gentleman here, you're never going to see him, and I'm not saying he's in the red pill place, but other red pill people have that same energy for other men. So already this shows us the type of men they are, right? Where For women, they've got all this energy, all this aggression, and they're flipping tables over, they're screaming, they're foaming for the mouth. But with men, they're very quiet. They want to debate. They want to, they want to get in touch with feelings. And I see it everywhere I go, right? And it's a pattern. And once again, because these type of people are speaking, there's obviously some kind of trauma. And they're like, any black man who has preference in this kind of stuff, right? For me, this tells me that I'm not willing to compete. Yeah? Because if you're willing to compete, if you want to compete with the men who destroyed you, the white men and the Arab men, whatever, right? You don't compete with them by dedicating your entire resources to their women. You don't.
So let me ask you this. So because I think I heard you say earlier. So the kind of the premises of is like, if you're dating the other race, you shouldn't be talking. If you're gonna date another race, do that, but don't berate your people that you don't date. So that's where their frustration and anger is coming from, because he dating an Asian woman, and like, okay, well, you dating over there, you can't talk to me like that. So if he was, was that kind of like you say the premise was?
Well, yeah. So this gentleman, he's dating the Asian woman, and now he's using
So
the Asian.
So let me ask you this. So let me ask you this then. So if he hadn't, let's play hypothetical. So go ahead.
So even if he was dating nobody or a black woman, still what he said would be unacceptable, and he would, and there would be no learning moment for it. So it's like this, right?
Right. That's what I'm saying. Because you was kind of making it seem like, well, since he's dating outside of his race, you don't get to talk to us like that, because it's like you berating us. But it's like, okay, I think the message would have been the same if he was still.
Yeah. It doesn't matter who's dating. It doesn't matter who's dating when it comes to the way he's reacting. He could date anybody, right? It doesn't matter, right? But who he's dating does say a lot about him, right? And it does add to the behavioral pattern of a black man screaming at a black woman and thinking he's in the safety zone because he's married, he's with the daughter of an Asian man. Yeah. And it's like, look, and what he's saying to people who understand management is, you see the Asian man, he is superior at raising women. But me as a black man, I'm inferior. And I'm going to blame my inferiority on the woman. But he's not figuring out if he loves the Asian woman so much that he finds her so submissive, how did the Asian man do that? How come he can't do that? And once again, you get in a complaint zone where men complain. So men are complaining because they don't understand solutions, right? So that's what we have to present here, solutions, and that's what we do.
How's that complaint zone when it's fact? Okay, like I said, we had these same discussions over here in America. Okay, an Asian man, a Mexican guy can be a janitor at a high school or a convenience store, but when he come home to his house, he's the king of that house. He don't. We live in it ain't like women ought to be silent. I get that. You know what I'm saying? We just can't walk over and I get all that. But when he might be the janitor on his job, but when he come home, he the king of that castle. But it's like with the black man, you can't be a janitor and come home and be the king of your castle. It's like, you can't tell me what to do. You just you clean toilets for a living. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of speaking on the dynamics. So I guess like you're saying, like, okay, how the Asian man can raise his wife, or how how his wife will be in play, because it's like she lets her man lead regardless of whether he's the CEO or a janitor. She knows her place, which he was talking about as like, I'm the wife and he's the king of this castle. I'm gonna let him lead and I'm gonna let him rule, as opposed to, you don't see that in the black community. So I get what he's saying.
Okay, so these are topics that we're gonna have to unpack, right? Like, is this?
I know, I get it. It's kind of like you kind of moving the goalposts. It's like what this man is saying is, okay, just like you said, this ginger guy, he's dating the daughter of an Asian guy. Okay, the Cora Hogan guy over here said the same type of stuff. He's a single man, same message, and it's received the same way from the same group of women.
But I'm letting you know, because what you're describing a similar reaction to a similar kind of topic, right? So I'm letting you know. Right. What I'm letting you know is, if you are a man, right, and and within the middle of an argument or within a delivery, you're berating women, right? You're berating women for fashion choices, It's how you start a conflict, right? You have to understand that there is a historical trauma to a choice. Yeah, I'm not saying.
I
I'm not
know,
saying.
I get that, and a woman will berate you, be in the midst of a argument too.
Yeah, but you don't traumatize someone into solutions. Yeah, right. You
I
have to
get it.
understand.
I totally get what you're saying. I'm just saying, like, it's not like one sided though. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like it's two dynamics to it. But I get what you're saying.
It's still one side. What I'm saying is, black people are collectively conquered, right? And these are the
Right.
behavior of a conquered people group. That's just what it is. Everything we can see is learned behavior from being conquered by other people groups, right? And it's come to a point where it's like the last straw, where someone now has solace in looking at the conquerors as a come up. Like, look, I'm connected to another group, so shame on you. This happened back at the time of enslavement and colonization. It happened all the time, right? It's stuff.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Right.
But what I'm saying is, now we have to be solution based, right? And I'm letting you know that there is no solution that's going to come in a traumatic argument and delivery. Yeah, just
Fact.
like
I get it.
a woman can't come up to you and go, "Don't own nothing. You're nobody. You're behind. You're the last in the league." No, that's not going to work. Yeah, that's not
Right.
going to work. But here's what it is. There has to be a starting point. Now I have to say, who's going to start this? Should it be the man or the woman? Because of when we observe other men who are successful, other groups, we understand that men are the leaders. When it comes to fixing a people group, men have to lead. And how men have to lead is be humble, innit? It's like, okay, there's certain things I need to look past while I get other things done. Yeah. And once I get those other things done, all those other things will slide into place. Yeah, women are going to respect more of people who have a community-led attitude, are building, are team-based, and recognize the past. These gentlemen on the show, they have none of that, right? Unfortunately, right? Like, when a man is screaming at a woman, they're in the background going ooh ah, like it's a school playground, right? So that's the mindset they're at. They don't think that this is a very traumatic. Go ask all the women, right, who listen to this podcast how much they were triggered by it. But the black men don't know this. They don't know this, right? They don't know that something that we think is a very simple ABC thing is actually very traumatic and triggering for many, many, many black women. Yeah. So, and it's like, and then we also use this concept as a preference, as a weapon. Here's how it's a weapon, right? Across the board, despite black women might not be best pleased here and there, they tell you that their preference is black men. But black men are telling you that the world is their preference, right? And that includes the people group who benefit from our downfall, right? Now, it's very awkward to be in a meeting and say, you should be my preference, so let's keep quiet. That's why it's the role of black men to go, you know what? Let's unpack this concept of preferences, isn't it? Yeah, this preference thing, isn't the irony that your preference is the group that destroyed you? Do you think that maybe that might be some kind of historical branding, some self-hate? And then in that same conversation, these same men are losing it. And from their verbiage, it's a whole lot of anti-black, anti-woman, black woman rhetoric, like this man was doing. Now, yes, it's like this. You can walk up and say, your shoes are very expensive, and then insult someone. Yeah? The shoes are expensive, I get it. But insult and white come up then is the issue we're dealing with. Yeah, that if black men don't want women to wear certain kind of styles, let's campaign that. Let's create magazines, talk shows, films where you're the director, and as a director, you the film you're making, you have to have a certain kind of style. It's like in institutions where when you join the institution, there's a rule. Like white people do very well. They have a school.
I get what you're saying, but that's like pouring a glass of water on a wildfire. You know what I'm saying? Like you said we gotta be solution based. So okay, the problem is those shoes you have on are expensive. Okay, we gotta start with that and not like, well, I don't want to offend her, so I just think I go out and create my own shoe, my own brand. By all this time, you know what I'm saying, it's done caught on, and now it's a trend and it's the thing, so it's kind of hard to stop that. You gotta you got at some point, like you said, we got to start with a solution. I get that, and I totally agree with that. But it's like you gotta, it's some hard truth in there. You gotta can't be afraid to address the issue at hand.
So would you say that this is a very touchy subject and a very important
I know,
right? So this gentleman here is not the prophet of this topic. Yeah, he's not the one
Right.
who's going to bring solace to black people about this issue of this so-called issue of hair choices, right? Yeah. Now what is this requires, because my job is to take black men serious when they keep saying the same thing, right? And if black men, every time we try to sort something out, someone goes, "Oh, about black women's hair." Let's have a conversation. But it's something that has to be done correctly, because this is not correct. Yeah, this is not correctly, and we have to have an adult conversation about what really is triggering black men about black hair, black women's hair, right? What's really
See, that's not the point. He's just saying like what's his whole stance for saying that, even though he put it all on him, is like, what's wrong with your natural beauty? Because yeah, and they was joking on him when he took his hat off and talking about his receding hairline. Okay, but as a man, he has to deal with that. When he put his hat off, he didn't have on a toupee or a wig or a do-rag or a shower cap.
Yeah.
He had to deal when he took his hat off. When he took his hat off, you see what you see. Okay, but when he said it to them, okay, if they're not going to be who they are once then that those lashes, those fake edges and all that type of stuff that comes with those wigs, that's not who you are.
Brother, I'm not saying I disagree with what you're saying, right? But what I'm saying is this kind of like discussion over vanity. This is, even if it's 1,000% true, it is the greatest mask that black man can hide behind, right? Because in our community, there are many things that are problematic, but this seems to be a topic that seems to keep coming up right now. I'm not saying we're not going to approach it. I will approach it, and I will say, to demonstrate a point, yeah, to demonstrate a point. But I think that once this gets discussed, something else will come up, because this topic is masking something else. It's masking something else, right? And it's the easiest thing to go to, because if ever you want to have an argument and win with a woman publicly, just mention hair. And then once it starts getting loud and proud, then you can say, you see. Yeah, there is obviously some kind of traumatic issue with this topic, which we should unpack as a community group, right? But I'm saying,
right, and vice versa. If you want to embarrass a man on a woman, will talk, oh, you broke. He could be a 6-figure guy and just not have on expensive stuff. You can just throw it out like, oh, you broke. So well, okay. You say you did in this type of thing. So what would you have said if you were him to that woman in that moment? Because they were triggered. Now that you said the background is about him dating outside of his race, and they're taking it as he's downplaying them because he doesn't date within his race. So if you were him, what would have said? Because what he was saying wasn't wrong. It just when they got riled up about the word knowing their place, that's when they begin to mock him, talk about what place, and they kind of double teamed him and starting to shout, and that's when he went to the insults.
Right. So because of who I am and the status I have in society, I would never be him in the position, because what set him up for that position, I would never be in, right? But had I been in, that's how I metamorphosized into him, right? And I had my mindset at that point. Yeah,
okay, what's your status? Because I mean that you could be confident.
I'll explain. Yeah. So this show speeches about a lifestyle called Black Betterment, right? And when you practice that lifestyle, there's certain things that's bigger than you as an individual. So me screaming at black people on the panel is never a good look. Right? And I know that's always going to be so. As much as even if someone says I'm the youngest man of all time, and once again you can watch footage of me being called these things, and I will not react this way because I practice this lifestyle. I won't be triggered in that side. That's why the status I have and the train I have, I will be there. But let's say I morphed into this gentleman as it happened, and I read things what he said, right? I would calm it down by apologizing, and I would definitely not go down to those extents in that way, right? I would try to say that I would try to say that I actually don't have a preference, but I've struggled to find a compatible black person, and because I couldn't, then there's others who I've been around me. That's just what happened, right? That's how I'll present it that way. I would berate a black woman and say, "That's why I never date you. You guys are this, that, and the third," which is what he was saying. Yeah.
Right, and the results would have been the same coming from those women because of the attitude. That the results would have been the same.
Even if it was, what would happen, and it has continued to happen when I debate people, is the error that they were doing would have been highlighted.
Right, I get it.
Yeah? So what I'm talking about is management and leadership. Now, if you follow me around personally, because now I'm speaking, right? You have to see how I communicate and see if it's effective. If it's not effective, I have to reform myself. If it is effective, then maybe black people as a collective can adopt it. That's being stoic. That's understanding that there is a power shift, right? There's a black man and black women. Now we're both equal, but someone has to lead. And I'm saying that black men should step forward to lead. Because when black men don't lead, or men don't lead, I should say, communities start struggling, yeah? Because you have to have your alpha dominance. You have to have the people who have the physical strength, yeah, to be the first line of defense, right? And look out for the rest of the collective group, right? But we seem to forgot that basic premise that every other man seems to
Raven.
Go ahead, brother.
Sorry to interject, my people. Yeah, there's a lot of feedback, so much love, Jeff, and salute to you, Jeff, for muting your mic, King, and love, people. Continue on, people.
Oh, go ahead, but yeah, go on, brother. Did you say there's feedback? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's better now because Jeff has muted the mic, so now it's clear.
Yeah.
Now it's clear. Now we can hear you clearly now when you talk.
Excellent, of course.
But now I've interjected. Let me just touch on it a little piece. I wanted to say, watching it from the start, right? This brother Ginger J, he seemed to have an issue, a deep embedded issue towards black queens, and he just started going at them. Now, fair enough, black men and black women and everybody outside of our race, we all have our own issues, we all have our own styles, whatever have you, right? Well, our own trauma. But he started attacking black queens. He started saying they're not submissive, and he generalized. He didn't say some, he said all of them. So that's where I'm at with that, and I'll stop where I'm stopping and send my love still.
There you go. So yeah, and like I said, thank you, brother. I want to thank you to Jeff and brother Qatari for giving us this perspective so we can really unpack it. And also, I know a lot of the black women like to listen, and you're always welcome, but sometimes it is a good test to hear the men speak, but you're always welcome in. And maybe it's bad for the men to speak, because actually one of the challenges in the community is black men are speaking least, and there needs to be that dynamics of for and against in an approach. Now, me as a pro-black person, if you tell me that you value styles of African base or Afro base, I'm always going to be pro that, right? That is where we want to be, all right, as a collective. Now, how we get that across, we have to establish why we don't have that. Is it, is it an issue that it doesn't? Well, it's the issue of women not feeling comfortable to wear stuff that might be more easier or more natural to them. That is the issue, right? That is a issue. There's also the economics of issue. Like if you want to dominate your economics, be in full control of your hairline. We saw this if the Afro back in the 70s, because that's a dominant trend. Others have to then pay and go to you to imitate what you're doing. So there's so many reasons from a pro-black or pan-African standpoint of why being Afrocentric in your hairstyling is there. However, like I said, I know this is a triggering topic, and there's a historical reason to it. So as the leader group, we have to approach it in a way, where solutions can be achieved. And so far, the comedian having an outbreak like the Corey in America or this ginger guy in the UK is not the strategy I would use. You have to be stoic. You have to come from an economic standpoint, a historical standpoint, and a trauma standpoint, and you have to show like there is care and concern. Yeah. So that same tough love, bruv, that these men really want to do with black women, I want to see that with black men. I want to see like, bro, you need to be dating black women. That's the end of it. Where it is, bro, you need to create institutions. Bro, you need to make a bank. Bro, you need to create your own kind of like lane. You need to create your own music company, or whatever you're doing has to be black owned. You have to have a generational wealth, right? You have to invent things and own those things. Like that kind of tough love, I want to see men to men do that, but we don't see that. We only see the tough love that we're observing here when black men want to talk to black women about black hair. But all the other things, I'm not seeing that tough love. And this is very important because this is how leadership works, right? And once again, I'm saying this is the byproduct of being conquered, where where the easiest option is the best option. So black men, the easiest option is to compete with black women, but really you want to compete with other men. You want to work with black men to compete with other men. You don't want to work with black men to compete with black women. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it's a yin yang kind of thing. It's like it's a heads and tails or whatever. It's like you're on the same coin. Black women, There's no competition with black men and black women. They're on the same coin. And when you flip it, where it lands, that's what you have to do. Now, I'm taking this concept of black hair very serious because every black man seems to do it. So at some point, we're going to have a conversation, a solution conversation about what is going on with this black hair topic. What is it that black men are saying? So I'm writing this thing down. They're saying submissiveness, that the man was screaming, and he's saying hair choices. And this is what's these two things are making black men forgive all the groups that have genocided us, stole wealth, killed us, continues. We forgive you for this. We will marry your daughter and give you all of our wealth, because our women, they are not submissive, and they have different kind of hairstyles we're not best pleased with. So because of this, I shall marry all your women. Not to worry, white man, Asian man, Arab man. Give it a year or so, 10 years, you'll have the mortgage, you'll have the wealth. We forgive you because our women don't like their hair and they're not submissive. Can you see it already how it's sounding a bit silly, right? And that's because as men, we can do that. We can just like not actually focus on the bigger picture, but focus on these micro challenges that are a byproduct of the bigger picture. And that is black men haven't recovered and been conquered by white men. You see? Everywhere I've gone to the most baddest man from the east, the baddest man from the west, the most intelligent man from the north, the most intelligent man from the south. I say the same thing, and people just keep quiet. So that means there has to come a point now we have to strategize, right? And strategize, what are we going to do to progress? Now, if you men are sincere, then let's have this conversation about how best to make our women confident to have a styling that represents the black community that we all can agree is more beneficial, right? And how can we do that with love? But it's not going to come out on these kind of chat shows, these clickbait chat shows, where people lose their marbles live on air, mistreat a whole lot of black women, and then have apologies like this, like this.
Last black man to say it, and many more will say it because we are tired of black.
I want to see these red pill kind of guys. I'm not saying this brother's a red pill ideology, but I'm seeing the same hair pattern. I want to see this kind of delivery to another male. You see, another male. I want to see that kind of like that aggression and stand on the square to another male, right? And why is it that when I go to these places I don't see it? That's why let's adopt being stoic. Because if we can't be bad man for everyone, we should be bad man for no one. This is the ideology. You don't see me do this because I understand this full spectrum of how it works, isn't it? I don't want to be a bad man for one guy and not for one guy because it doesn't look correct. I'm not going to be a bad man for women and not for men. It don't look correct, right? I'm saying that this is a very, very touchy subject, and this brother has gone through tremendous trauma. But from a leadership standpoint, we can't deal with his trauma until he rights the wrongs he's done towards women. We have to protect women and children. This is the basics of being a man. The basics. I don't really, yeah, it's the basics. Protect women and men. Let me rephrase it. Protect black women and black children. I'm sorry. That's what it is, right? These are the basics of a community group. All right? It's the basics. If we can't get that, we can't do anything else. And going on these shows and men kiki and laughing at black women, it's not a good look. It's not a good look, right? And we need the righteous men in the community to speak out, but also take these brothers to the side and correct them. But here's what it is. Pro-blackness is not a thing. Universal love is a thing. You know, love everyone is a thing. And what you're going to observe is all these people who love everyone, they seem to love all women with a nice degree, but the women in their group not as nice. So you see how this man was presenting his Asian woman, you know, the hair 10 out of 10. You see, he was saying that she's best, all those kind of physical traits he was best pleased with. Yeah, this can you see? So this universal love seems to only be universal love that's not inclusive of black people.
I get that, but in the black community, whoever he's with, if he's married to an Asian woman or dating her, she has all these degrees, she's not throwing it in his face. You know, over here, well, our black women's like, well, I don't need a man. I got a degree. I got this, and that. It's like, and the basis of this show is the setup for how we fix our community. So you wouldn't go to a comedy show looking not to laugh. So you want to go to a comedy show to get a laugh. So yeah, these panels are set up for the foolishness, and guess what? We buy into it because we talking about it.
Okay, so I'm writing down what you said, bro, right? Because we're solution based. I don't want to undermine men or women's claims, right? So how we do that is by having codes, right? So you've mentioned that some black women or many black women are excelling at getting degrees and this kind of thing, right? And
No, I ain't
that,
saying it. I ain't saying they're selling. They use that as leverage into a relationship. Well, I don't need it if he don't have six figures. Well, I got these degrees. I got and they use that as their leverage to equal up to what a man does.
two
And
things.
what he was saying again, when he was talking about the aspect of everybody knowing the place. Okay, you can have all the degrees that you want to. If we go out to a club, we go out to dinner, and a fight breaks out. You look for me to protect you. Your degrees is not going to protect you. As a man, that's instilled in me. I have to protect. So miss me with the degrees instead of throwing it in my face. Let's use it and build together. And when I follow my we follow you follow the leadership and the vision of the man or the husband, because I'm married. I don't deal with the as a man, no, as a husband. Hey, let's use what you got, your degrees and your knowledge and this and that, and put it together, and let's build, as opposed to, well, if he don't make six figures, well, he can't be my man.
All right, I'm very,
It's the tug of war. It's the inner war. So it's bigger than what this
all right.
guy's talking about. He just stating, the obvious.
Yeah.
Because if you really want to build with your black man, why she know that hair ain't hers, she know them lashes ain't hers. So it's like, why would you get offended if you know it's fake?
All right. What we should do, because remember, yeah, there are different men in one community from different ways of life and different ways of viewing it, right? And it's not for me to undermine a man's experience, because how people live is how they experience. But what I would say is, because I'm hearing the same thing from different types of men in the community, and women as well. Let's now have a code creation, right? So we can sit down in meetings and go, look, regardless of what is right or what's wrong, let's now have a code. So even if this only happens one time or a million times, just so we can get past it, let's say that we should never use our qualifications as a way of demeaning men. Now, when I talk to men, I'm going to say to women, do not demean men because of their lack of qualification, or you have a qualification they don't have. But also, what I'm going to say to men is, men, go and get the qualifications. You see? So I'm going to say, do not demean men for not having it, but men, now put that in your arsenal as something to achieve. Yeah, something to achieve, that you want to have a qualification, so these things cannot be used against you, but there is a code that says they can't use it anyway, right? So rather than lowering the benchmark, because actually getting qualifications in some kind of thing could be a very good idea if you want to progress the community. Knowing a skill set could be a very good idea. So one, do not use the lack of achievement as a weapon, which is kindness. And two, don't use the fact that you're not being mistreated now as a demotivational reason to not actually try to achieve something. Code. Because what's going to happen, and this is what always happen, is we're going to be in a million meetings saying, they said this, they said that, they said this, they said that. I didn't say this, I didn't say that. So you know what? Even if it was 1 million or one, let's now have a discussion about the codes of what men want women to not do, black men, and what black women don't want men to do. Let's have that discussion, and let's write it down as a code. And we can now start plastering it. We have now decided that when black men and black women are arguing, this is now taboo to discuss a person's grades as a reason not to respect him. Caveat. This doesn't mean he won't try to learn, it's just it won't be used against him. Do you reckon that might be a solution?
I totally agree with you saying.
Okay.
That's perfectly fine and well, but it's like it's going to be some kind of caveat in there where it's like, well, what about this? Again, it goes back to other communities. You mentioned that Asian community, the Mexicans, they work together. It's not about who gets up. It's like, hey, it's for the betterment of our community. We gotta put our resources together. We gotta do it like this to achieve this goal. And they do that. We are the only people that bicker about stuff, and we always last. So again, regardless of if the husband didn't have a degree, your wife shouldn't be throwing it in your face.
Yes, but
it goes back to the analogy I use as the Asian or the Mexican guy that's a janitor at work. Regardless, he don't have an education, but when he comes home, he's revered and respected as the husband and the man of the house.
Brother,
not to say they don't have disagreements or argument, but it's not.
Yeah, you're right. So
it's not thrown in his face like, well, how can you rule my house and then you got a boss at work?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But in our community, that's what we find, and that's we have to deal with, and that's the inner fighting of the black man and the black woman.
Yeah. So remember, so what we're gonna do? You said something that's very important there, right? And that is, unfortunately, as a black collective all over the world, one of the things that is a very recommended strategy to have is recognizing where you are collectively. And you said bottom of the league, and that means when you're at bottom of the league, that means you realize that these other teams have better players and better stadiums and better incomes, right? Whatever. So that means they have more of an advantage as they move. So recognizing that we are last place, right, is important. So that means, yes, maybe what you're saying is true. Maybe black men and black women are just berating each other. Maybe black women are berating black men. Now let's have a code. And with the code, we're saying, listen, we acknowledge that we're collectively inadequate and we're not moving forward. So we're going to have a code. If we cannot agree to the code, that would then demonstrate that we're collectively inadequate, right? So now it's official. All right, now it's just bickering. So it's like someone goes, why are you not dating black men, black women? Oh, we can't because we can't have a code that makes us do correct things. That we're confident that we don't like other people. When it comes to actually doing stuff to become like other people, we don't believe in that. We believe in bickering and talking about the bickering. And I'm saying that let's take every single claim serious, and we just put down to a code.
I agree. That sounds good. Yeah, just be honest about it. Like, hey, why we can't get along? Hey, I can't get my woman to submit. She don't want to know her place. Why I can't get my husband to keep a job. He don't know how to lead. I agree. Yeah, just tell the truth. Why we behind and why we can't keep up with the other community, because we can't stay on code with each other.
Right.
We don't have to fight. Sorry to cut you in. We don't need to fight with each other. Like, we can sit down and have an educated discussion about the things we may like and dislike. We don't need to get up on a public panel and just start slaying black queens and then generalize them. And you know what gets me is, I don't know what kind of queens he's seen, but there's many black women out here that are wearing their natural hair. There's many black queens out here that don't be wearing fake nails. You know what I mean? So you might as well say that all black men sell weed then. You know, it's the same kind of racist kind of narrative that I felt he was taking. I don't want to personally go in on a brother because I don't know him personally, but to say that kind of stuff about black queens, especially in the day and age we're in, we need some education and, you know what I mean, some respect. You know, we can't just be slaying each other, and that's all we seem to be doing to each other, is slaying each other. Like, why not just educate each other, sit down, and, you know, there's so many black queens out here that he could have picked, that, you know, that he could have chose, that didn't have these things that he was mentioning, but instead he wanted to just go off on a rant and start disrespecting all queens. Like, does he not have a black woman in his family? Like, you know what I mean? Like, come on, where's the respect, man? But love though.
Yeah, and this is the thing. Unfortunately, because of what's, thank you for that, Brian. Thank you for that, Jeff, as well. Unfortunately, because of where we're at, you know, we're always going to be highlighting the shortcomings, but it takes much direction to try to go, okay, we're seeing our patterns of behavior. Now let's have codes to deal with it, and we can have those triggering conversations about black people, black men, and work and learning, and black women and fashion. Because that's what fashion and softness versus working and whatever the other ones, right? And we can have those, right? But it has to be done in love, because we observed on the internet and in real life, these things are very traumatic, right? These are actually black Betterment meetings we need to have. Now, what I want to do as well is there's actually a video of him talking in a group with other women. So let's see if I find that as well.
But they call
this one there.
You too. Do you understand? Right.
Wait,
And I am.
whoa. Wait, hold on. I haven't discounted the black face.
No, wait. I'm not. That's not what.
Guys, he's not mixed. I don't know why people are saying he's mixed.
I'm
He's
definitely
fully black.
heard. I listened and I heard what you just said. I understand.
Yes.
You know what? You're sorry. You're taking accountability. I hear that. You do have to understand, like you just said, not everyone will take your accept it. But from now on forward, this is always going to be that you're going to get the bullets.
Oh yeah, of course.
You understand?
Of course. From now on, I understand the black community have got a shade to me. I brought that on myself.
And
I don't think it's just that. I think it's
there's a lot of black women that will discuss and not have an argument. There's a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not all of us. It's not all of us that are angry and this and that. Like that's the part that I don't like. It's always like, oh, we're angry because we speak firm, because we did. A lot of the times we're speaking firm because we have to stand up against our next to our brothers. But it's very hard nowadays because we have to stand against.
Or fight harder in the workplace.
I'm not gonna lie. You see all these other races that we're bringing up. These other races never have these kind of problems. They like to watch us have these problems because it's entertainment. They love this. They love this because they're like, yep, look at them go again at it again between themselves. They hate themselves. This is just another problem.
I mean, I feel like
it's sad to see because Ginge, do you remember the first day you met me?
Yes.
Exactly. So for
tell
me,
them what I told you.
Do you understand? When I never knew this man. I didn't know what he did.
The first thing
the man stalks me out of everywhere to tell me, "Oh my God, you are a beautiful black emperor." He wasn't chirping me. He wasn't. He literally stopped the whole event. Like it was a lot, and I was like, "Okay, calm down." Like I mean, you seen a black woman before, like. The way he was acting, that was my first impression of Ginge.
Yeah, it was the same with me as well.
Yeah, so now we've come all the way down, we clocked him on TikTok to today. It's really sad, but at the same time, I wanna hear your side. I don't want to just be like, oh yeah, fuck him, da 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 da. I still want to hear what you have to say.
This is, bro, it's hard. Even in my group chat with my girls, it's going off, and I'm like, bro,
this isn't me defending
it's
him.
hard.
This isn't the lady in the comment. This isn't me defending him. This is me just speaking on facts, not me. I'm just saying what's happened. And now we are here. That's what's happened. So you're gonna have to deal with it. That's what's happening. Do you understand?
Wait, can I ask a question? Yeah. Was it Backchat?
Yeah, it was.
All places.
It's not the whole point of the Backchat show to trigger people and get them to say outworldly stuff.
This is why I said, see that
the way the
question,
clip
China
is-
was so right at the end of, I don't believe they should have asked that question because it does put races up against each other, which is why I didn't like the topic of conversation. It is not nice.
Here's a bit of, I know nobody will care about this, but before the episode, obviously they do the phone calls, who they're getting and whatever. I told them I didn't want to do it because just because I seen Backchat and it's a triggering show. I said also, I said also, I don't want to speak about certain topics in terms of my prison sentence, my past, because I've done loads of shows like that. I don't want to speak on the black topics and the race topics because I said this because Backchat like to do a lot of topics on the race blackness.
And the black race, yeah.
And I know my opinions on my experience with what I've been through. I said it to them, to the production woman. I said, I don't want to do all of that because I can get techie. I said it to them. And
thank you so much, my course.
I went on the show, and that was the question about black race. So it's all. Dave, you got.
That's what it goes. I don't think it's an issue with wigs. It's mimicking hair that isn't generally black. That is the issue of a lot of guys. I doubt they will complain if Afro wigs were being worn. Well, the thing is, I know that. So I'm gonna circle around on these two things of triggering. So I think the most triggering thing is. Men saying that women are argumentative and not fall in line, this word, and also qualifications and not working being used as a weapon. And that needs to be unpacked as well for one. And then from the vice versa, the other side story, the issue is fashion, things like hair and the styling. And we can, I mean, this is very interesting, but we can dive into, is it the fact that someone is wearing a weave or this kind, or is it the fact that it is emulating a style of Europeans or whatever? I don't know, right? So we can unpack that and as well as the other topics. But we have to go at a pace that minimizes anxiety because we're not Backchat. We're not here to get clickbait kind of stuff. It really is solution-based stuff, and I suspect those basic topics are very trauma triggering, and it has to be. We have to do it as a kind of team. And let's press play.
But remember, they've got their brand, so I can't blame them for doing that. Like, if anything, I blame myself for telling them what's going to trigger me. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's.
That's another thing. This kind of like when you do performing arts and this kind of stuff, you become signed to like an actor or whatever. You do PR training. It's like a thing. What's happening now is you have social media where people are just becoming social celebrities or whatever it is, but they don't have the actual training that professionals have when it comes to dealing with public. And and putting yourself in a position, or a team that won't put you in a position where you might get triggered because they're going to talk about topics that you can't handle. And unfortunately, well, that's actually what works great for these shows, that someone actually having a breakdown live and then chopping up to bits to send live to get clicks. And that's the kind of double-edged sword that you're dealing with here, isn't it? That actually they don't want people who can control themselves because you're not going to get content from it.
It is what it is. I've said what I've said. I've acted the way I've acted, and I
just don't like the fact people are fighting hate with hate.
I believe from
But
here.
fight with hate. I feel like, again, I don't, guys, whether you not agree or disagree.
No, why I say hate with
I'm
hate?
trying-
Because I'm seeing there's triggering things that people are saying to Ginge, you know.
Okay,
I get these people are triggered. I get it.
Babes, there's triggering things that people are saying to Ginge, but when Ginge had Most Wanted up here just a little while ago, where we was telling him
I
to
can't speak for that man, AR.
What happened when Biggie's truth weren't available? Because the moment he realised, he dropped my man, didn't he?
Let alone.
Let Toys talk.
The point of the matter is, yeah, everybody knows what Most Wanted is about, okay? Yeah, that's number one. To come on this morning or this afternoon with him was never going to set in your favour, because you know what? He already doesn't like black women. He's made it very clear. Do you understand? And from what you said, yes, from your show, what was dropped yesterday, yeah.
So who is this woman, and where's she from? This woman, her voice. But what are they saying, that this ginger guy has made it clear he doesn't like black women? Or she's saying someone else? Because I don't know what she's saying.
Just it wasn't good to watch. Do you understand? And having somebody like, hold on a moment, having somebody like him come up this morning, it's just like another slap in the face to us. I'm sorry.
Okay, so it must be a black woman.
You know, when he was up, most of the time I didn't see the start. And when I came up,
1 second. I had watched this. Whatever AR does is what AR does. I don't know about AR's hatred to black women. I know about what AR's past and fucking crime.
Oh, AR. Who's AR? Was it guys? I don't know the names of these podcast people.
And going to court for his baby mother. I've never seen him with black women and all these crazy things. And I don't know what.
Remember, something you have to remember. This is a very important point. These black men who have experience with black women, and they hate black women as a whole, or allegedly whatever, but they don't hate non-black people as a whole for the historical things that's happened. It shows you a kind of was it a constant dissidence that's going in their head, some kind of like very weird behavioral pattern.
He was saying I was on mute.
He was on mute and he wasn't in the screen. Once he got on the screen,
me and AR
took him off
when there was only 15 people in my live this morning.
But to be fair, Ginge,
there was only 15 people.
The point I'm trying to say is,
Ginge did take him that because he wasn't on the screen most of the time. So when everyone came in the comments like, "Yo, take him down, take him down."
But prior to that, we've been asking him to mute him. Prior to that,
he did mute him, but you know when you reset the battle, the thing comes back on.
It comes back on,
back on after a while. I did.
He did mute him.
Oh, he shouldn't have even been on there. When you started to see the masses coming in and doing and saying what they felt about the show yesterday, he's not the best representation to have in your corner.
He's not. He's definitely not. I don't think he digged the deeper grave that he shouldn't have.
Ginger's on the phone now.
You know what the thing is?
Hey! I didn't get AR to come and represent me, so none of you fucking hold that man to me. Fuck we talking about? It's about me. Don't tell me about what he does now. It looks if you don't put another man's shit on me, that's on you.
I hear that.
I'm doing that.
But could you not hear him?
No, I was on.
He was on the phone.
He was on the phone, and his volume.
Guys, it's a question. It's a question I'm allowed to ask.
As I said, he was on the phone to his manager. He said he's not gonna be here, and he put himself on mute.
Okay,
then
fine.
he had to turn it back up as well because he couldn't even hear him.
Okay, cool. It's just a question.
No, I hear that.
You asked me 4 times though. Like
No. That question I just asked you. Could you not hear
the repetition of like, yo, I didn't know. I kept coming back saying, what's going on? And you was there. So how are you confused as to how me? What? And why are we making it about him? We're not here for him. Like, let's keep.
It's not about that. It's about what I'm trying to show you. It's not just about him. It's about his character.
I think it has become too easy for all groups to target and criticize black women based on appearance. So whatever we do with our hair is criticized. Is it to break us and our self-esteem? Well, this is the thing. We need to have a very step-by-step conversation about this, because everywhere I'm going, I'm hearing the same tropes come up, and I think I don't want to be seen as someone who's just ignoring things. So I want to bit by bit find out what is the issue, and is there a solution, and can we put a code on it, right? Or can we have a code or a campaign? Because obviously the code follows the campaign, because you go around and you get a consensus. And so look, as a community, this topic or this issue seems to be brought up every time we're trying to get from A to B. So it's obviously now causing a bottleneck. So let us try to find a delivery of it, of the best way to do, and let's see how we can do that. I mean, there's a gentleman, a guy, and I was going to cover it, but maybe next week. He wanted to do he wanted to do a boycotting of, I think, black hair products for a social reason. That's a campaign, isn't it? And that campaign then can become cold if it's successful. That's how you work it. You find things that's not working or could be work better. You put it in forms of campaign and branding, and after the campaign, it becomes cold, right? So that's how we should run it. Even if I wear braids or natural looking wigs.
Regardless, because of the situation that happened yesterday, that's transpired in today. This is what I'm talking about.
I get that, but I wasn't here for that, Toys, and you're trying to put it on me.
I'm not putting it on you.
You just did. You just said it's a.
I would say that there's this massive of men movement who they're not necessarily red pill, but they're in that kind of area. They have an understanding of the philosophy, and there is a value in listening to what has motivated them to do this, and to see, okay, can we have a constructive conversation that gets from A to B?
Great, you're not representing yourself better. I said, what? I don't even know what was happening. You just.
And to be fair, not everybody knows Most Hated. I don't know that cat from nowhere. I just found him annoying, but I don't know him.
Great, and did it. What?
While you wasn't here, yeah, or you was away talking to your manager, he was still going on and on about black women. Do you understand? And the point of the matter is why I'm trying to say to you is that having somebody like him even on your platform when you're going through something like this.
So what I don't know. It's like 20 minutes. It's 28 minutes. I don't know what the hell. I don't know. Hold on.
Sorry. You did say to her, "Where is your hair?" And
You
he
said,
probably
"Where's your hair?" Not the wig. You just need to look at the context of it. Just looked like he was just coming for a black woman's hair.
Yeah, no, I know.
It doesn't. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter how you said it or the wording.
Okay, let me do it again.
He looks very easily agitated, right? And once again, maybe comedy might be his thing, but maybe like live, definitely not stand up. He might be triggered deeply if he goes on stand, because he looks very agitated by this women trying to explain to him, this basic of this hair kind of stuff.
You don't need to explain to me where I went wrong. I attacked the hair. I attacked the black women that I dated, and it's come out as a generalization because of my behavior. Can you not hear me?
Yeah, but we were just asking you, why did you come for the hat? Why, why?
Red, because I was triggered, so I attacked back. It's not okay.
I know. That's the one thing you don't come for on a black woman.
Watch this. Watch this.
That's like me saying you was aggressive. You was an aggressive black man. I wouldn't want to
It's always the one thing that you don't come for on a black woman. They made a song and dance about me. They kept triggering me, so I attacked back. And yes, I said the wrong thing. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Where does the line stop when I'm getting poked or when the black man's getting poked? Where does that line stop?
But she didn't come for anything about your appearance.
It's the appearance. She didn't come for anything else apart from the appearance.
I know it's the appearance, guys. Guys, I'm not confused.
There's also, and I think sometimes we miss this, because the gentleman who left, Jeff, I think it's Jeff, he said something, and sometimes it's actually not a like for like. So with women, what will offend women more so than men, for the most part, is physical degrading, right? While for men, it's more achievement degraded or the lack thereof, right? Remember, that's different kind of dynamics that what people generally place value in, generally.
I know I took it to another level, not them. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Are we clear in me saying that? Are we clear, guys? Are we clear?
I'm not gonna agree with you.
No, it's not.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
No,
I'm not
it's
gonna
not agreeing. Toys. You're not
I'm
agreeing
not.
with me. Toys. You're not agreeing with me. Listen to what I'm saying. I took it to the next level. Yes.
Yeah.
There you go. Then I took it too far. Yes.
Facts.
I've been saying this, right? It's all on me because I took it too far, correct?
Paying himself a lot.
Hello?
Yeah, but I'm not the only one here.
No,
Yeah,
I need to know if I'm not understanding. So I'm gonna say it slowly, and you don't need to tell me yes or no, Jay, you're wrong, right?
All right, go ahead.
Right. Whether I got triggered and I took it too far, full stop.
Correct.
I could have done better with my replies.
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
After the crash out.
Yeah.
I didn't need to speak about nobody's appearance because nobody spoke about mine.
100%.
100%.
The reason why I went there is because I felt the need to get some form of get back and couldn't say anything else.
I'm glad you said that. Carry on.
Right.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. Yeah.
This doesn't take from what I've done and what I said. At all. The perception that has come from the way how I've acted is now this. So for that, I am wholeheartedly apologizing because that was not the question and that was not the conversation that we was having.
So he's acknowledging that he only said these things to harm. It wasn't like, and you could see it anyway, but it wasn't like, and that's what I was trying to say to the brother who left. It was like, you know what, I've got this really thing I want to talk about that's bothering me, and it's A and B. No, I'm saying A and B because I know it will harm you.
Throughout the whole episode. So the fact that we got to here, I apologize for my part and my behavior in the pressure. Because I definitely could have handled myself better. Yeah?
I'm glad we had this conversation. Yeah.
No, do you know why? I am glad that we had the conversation, but also I'm just not swearing or anything. I'm just going to say what I think because I'm going to be true to myself. I'm going to be true to myself. In the moment of you crashing out, Jay, did you ever once you've watched the video back clearly, have you seen how aggressive you came across to those women by jumping up and doing what you was doing?
Yes, I'm an aggressive person when I get triggered.
But
Can I also ask another question?
Is that fair for women to be in that environment with you?
To be in an environment with me?
Is it fair to? She said.
Is it fair to be in an environment? You know what? That's a good question.
And when we talk about leadership, like this concept of being aggressive to women is very normal to some of these brothers, whatever. They don't see that this is a problematic one, it might be, right? And they don't see it. And that's what I'm saying about management, leadership, and also stoic, and when you should be representing something. And if you don't qualify, you shouldn't because you can do more harm than good. Right, to him, it seems it's like they're saying, as women, do you think it's necessary that you're comfortable being aggressive in front of us? He's like, it's a new thing to him, isn't it?
That was a bit.
It was.
And I don't want to sound like a Karen, but I'm just saying
that's a good question.
That it was very, very intimidating to watch.
That's a good question. And no, it's not fair for a woman to feel intimidated by a man, especially if I'm taking it too far. That is a good question. It's not fair. Listen to the words she said. Is it fair? It's not fair. No, it's
and do you understand that the whole all the black men that generally don't like us, like deep down don't like us, do you see where you fueled that fire?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Of course.
That's where I felt like it just made us feel like we went 20,000 steps backwards.
No, I know what I said.
So on these kind of shows, these kind of like back chat and other kind of thing, is there a balance of where there are black men who love black women and there's pro-black woman kind of content, or is it more the other way? Because that's another thing where you see that this seems to be a very fashionable thing to do. And remember, the reason why black women isn't that black women are hated or anything like that. What it comes down to is the reason why black women are the clickbait material is because they're not protected by black men in the same capacity that the Indian man or the white man protects white women, right? And that's why I keep saying that even though black men, this German thinks he's winning by parading the Asian woman in front of the camera, he has to understand that the reason why he can actually berate black women so easily is because black men as a collective, we struggle to understand the value of defending women. We struggle. Just like even there, he's baffled by the concept of being aggressive in front of women. It's like, oh yeah, is that a problem to be aggressive in front of women? Like, yeah.
No, because I'm still trying to figure out, where is our place? Because you said that we don't know our place, so I really like to know where our place is.
Don't know your place within. So, like I said, when it gets to a certain place, my experience with my black women that I've been with, there's nothing I can tell them. There's nothing. Everything that they say goes once and everything's better. If I open it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like I said in the episode, it's the women that I've experienced. Mm-hmm. I never generalized you lot, and you lot keep asking me questions that generalize.
No, we've got to go by how you made it come across. We're not going to do that. So you made it come across like it was a generalization. We have to hold you accountable as a generalization.
Right, Toys, we're going round in circles.
I know you, and I know your views and stuff.
This brother, he really is painting a picture that he is the victim in this.
Playing games.
Yeah.
Playing games, man.
Yeah. He's coming across like he's the victim in his behavioral pattern.
Okay.
Guys, he did just clarify this. Come on, you lot.
That it's not a generalization, but that means it's fair to say that you could only take accountability for yourself in terms of the ones that you pick.
Yes.
Because
that's the whole conversation where this comes from.
Nobody told you to pick the ratchet ones that you that trigger you. Because there's millions, there's billions, there's so many beautiful black women that love their hair, love their skin bleached. So they love it. They understand their position as a wife and vice versa. And a lot of men, let me finish. A lot of black men are here screaming. This is the ones that loved what you said. A lot of black men are screaming this, black women this and black women that, when it's the fact that it's the ones that you chose. Just like there's mad white gal, mad Asian gal. You understand? It's the ones that you pick. Feel me?
This is what I was saying. Most of this is all just because of that short clip. Because
it's
again,
not a short
I'm going
clip,
to say, a lot of people ain't watching the full episodes.
I didn't hear that. What did you say? Sorry?
Jay even said in his experience. You get it?
You
So
didn't say
from
that.
that short clip, it just looks like a generalization. You get what I'm saying?
Know what it is, Savage? It's from the crash out. You see, from when you crashed out, everything you said prior to that went out the window. It went out the window for people. So, regardless of him saying it, the fact that he crashed out and said what he said, they're like, well, he hates black women.
Ginger, I paid you, baby. Yeah.
But I mean, he by definition, he does hate black women in what he was saying, as in like the physical things he was saying demonstrates this, doesn't it? Right.
Yeah, and Raven, can I just say something, please?
Right.
Some of the black queens on here were saying, when I met you, you was calling me Empress. You was calling me Empress, how beautiful I am, da. So why is he not mentioning the Empresses then? Why is he just doing this whole generalization, just trying to diss black queens for trauma, and then he's not mentioning the Empresses then? You see?
Very true.
Crazy.
It is very peculiar. What I'm going to do now is, I don't know if I'm allowed to play, because it's somewhat of a, not professional, but a actual, I'll play a few seconds or minutes of the actual show. I think I got the show.
Here's why I don't.
I think it's it. Hold on.
I don't.
This is the show. It's on.
Women, because you don't like to get put in your place.
Which place?
Your place.
Which
and when you
place?
get put in your place, you think you got taught like a man.
That's why they were cheating on you then.
You're not men.
That's why they were
Watch
cheating
this.
on you.
Stay in your place.
Cheated on you multiple times.
Yeah, I know, because you don't like to get put in your place.
Apologies,
Listen,
sir.
listen. Apologies where?
Go. So remember, he's arguing for one sister, but he's saying black women. Now he's being very obviously he has emotional control issues, and that's why he shouldn't be on his platform, especially talking to black women, right? But he's actually talking to one woman there.
Where's your hair? Where's your hair?
And remember, he's the one. The cursing, bleeping is from him, not from the women.
Where's your hair?
Oh, let me cut whatever music that is. And I think this is the start of the show. Hopefully, this won't trigger night.
Women, because obviously, if you're in an area, an environment that's predominantly white people.
Yeah, it's mainly been white. I've never dated a black girl.
Remember, obviously, whoever run these shows, they know that these are triggering topics. But this constant like black men who've only been with non-black women, this is something that we need to unpack at some point.
Or even kissed a black girl.
Never even kissed.
I would like to. In Scotland, if there is a black girl there, most of my boys are white in it, so when we're out, the black girl will automatically go for my boy.
Yeah.
And the white girl will go for me.
Yo, yeah, it's me, the ginger one, that ginger boy you see on the pen game stage, dashing people off the stage. I'm here as a special guest of Backchat, you know. Now, I don't know what you're expecting, but I'm ready to see one wig go over there and a man's slider go over there, because I've been watching episodes and I'm not gonna lie. Nobody's talking with their chest. I don't feel like anybody's really talking their chest. I feel like they're talking with nipples and areolas. So here's what we're gonna do. They got the boy himself, the man himself, me, to come to Backchat. So I can't wait to get this started, man. Let's see what they got for me, man. Let's go. Let's get it cracking. Let's get Ginger.
Interesting.
Is consistently preferring to date outside of your own race a genuine preference or a subtle form of self-hate?
Riches, can you answer that? Riches.
So the guy he's pointing to, Riches, he's the guy who was in the UK blue pill movement, and he was the one. I don't know if he still is. He was dating a Italian woman, and he was invited. The queen of the UK black red pill movement was a white woman from America. And I think she invited him and his white girlfriend on her show. But she also invited a white supremacist who was her good friend. And he started obviously making fun of his girlfriend and him. And obviously the host didn't really defend. She kind of agreed or just was let to go on, whatever. And this was a demonstration that this man has a history of berating black women, but he's in a show with the king, the queen, the king of the black red pill movement, which is a white woman, which is the irony of that. And a white supremacist who was openly mistreating him, but he never had any defense from the white community, or from the host or whatever, and he was just kind of alone in it. And that was the last time I kind of saw him. And then, we saw clips of him mocking black women or whatever.
Why are you coming for me?
I'm just asking you to ask.
I think that's why they're asking him, because he has a history of mocking black women and being with European women, even though he gets mocked by them consistently, very high rate. Whatever.
I just want.
But no. What are you trying to say?
Want to hear your
perspective. What are you trying to say?
Bro, I just want to hear your perspective, bro.
Remember we said before that it'd be good if when they have these shows, obviously they want click material, but they have, because all these sisters have said they love black men, but all the men, they're all like, whatever I find, and they end up with non-black women. So it'd be good if you actually have pro-black men on this show, just to give a balance of a community standard that obviously has fallen from waistline.
It's one of those days.
I want to hear from Riches, innit, because, he's prolific with the Afro-Caribbean ladies. My God.
I don't know what he's trying to allude to, all right? But I've done it all, innit? I've had different women from different backgrounds and different colours, so I don't know what he's trying to say.
Have you been...
So they remember this pattern of black men saying they love everyone, they win everyone, but when you get their history, they've actually mistreated black women the most, and they've never mistreated whatever group was responsible for their colonization or enslavement. That particular group will be the most beloved.
In a relationship
Yeah, of
with
course.
a black woman.
What do you mean?
Wait. Fully black women. Have you?
Yes, fully.
Relationship.
No white people involved.
Wait.
What do you mean?
Relationship, not.
Yeah, yes.
Okay,
Do you have a
just checking.
preference? Like more than one.
Do you have a preference?
I have a preference for good-looking women, blood.
Okay, so no
That's
matter
it.
what.
So no matter what.
Do you have a racial preference?
Whatever comes in it. Like, do you get what I'm saying? No, what my preference is whoever likes me.
Right.
That's my preference. I'm not gonna chase a girl that's telling me, oh, no, I'm not on it, or one word answers and all of that. Nah, man.
Oh, so you don't care what race they are, what background they are.
How many different ways are you not going to ask me the same question, blood? Like, there is no preference. I just want good looking, innit? Like, you lot can believe what you want. Gabs, why do you always try and put it on me? I like all the flavors, bro. Listen, I'm not going to limit myself to one flavor, bro. One life, brother.
This is like the Black Man campaign, where they want you to know that they love everyone. They want to hire everyone. They want to marry everyone. Love has no color. They're not going to do unique things or exclusive institutions for Black people. They love everyone. They're going to join everyone. Everyone's welcome. You go to the Asian community, you go to the white community, you go to other community. It's different. They're going to work for themselves. If they work with Black people, it's to own things that Black people have created. It's very different a mentality. Well, once again, this is the learning that we have to give out to the community, understanding how men operate and how communities function.
One life, yeah?
Do you feel like you more commonly attract a certain race?
White women.
Not
You
really.
can say white women.
Nah,
you can say
no.
white women.
No, yeah, just say what you're saying, innit? No.
Don't worry, you're not going to get fired.
I think I attract
Cool.
All sorts.
all sorts.
But you don't have a preference at all.
At all.
Oh my fucking days.
No, do you know why? Sorry. Do you know why I asked this? Because when I'm dating, I don't like dealing with a guy that doesn't have a preference, because I like to know that you find me attractive.
No,
if it's just
if I'm dating
anything,
you, obviously I find you attractive.
Yeah, I know, but if your preference is just anything, then everyone's my competition. I don't have time for that.
Everyone's a
Give me a
competition,
specific group of women.
It's hard out here.
No, but give
That's
me.
like everyone's my competition, blood.
Well, I'm
Men
saying,
think that, like, blood. Yeah, as a guy, yeah. You know, there's guys that are taller, better looking, more money, bigger willy, smaller willy. Look, blood.
You always bring up
everyone's
Willy.
competition out there, blood.
You always bring up Willy. I'm just saying.
No, because it's a real thing. Sex is real. Some women have got tight box, some women got bucket. There you go.
Oh my God.
What do you mean?
You always do this.
Why do you know that some girls have tight box and some girls have bucket box? What you been doing? Where you've been around? That's the only way you would know that. So how would you know that?
Asking me, innit? You know what's gonna come if you ask me questions. That's
Fair
it.
enough. Okay, so the reason why I'm asking about the preference thing. Okay, go on.
So I'm just asking. If only white women was attracted to you, would you just go for the white woman then?
I would go for what comes to me, innit?
So if it was only white women,
if only white women came to me and I was trying to move to Black women and they were saying no, then I would go with what's coming to me, innit?
So today's topic was, just so you know, because we're just watching the end because we've got a few minutes left of this. But what percentage of Black men have disdain for Black women? We review footage of online Black men showing disdain for Black women and discuss repercussions and solutions. I think it might have been, was it Jeff? I think it was either Jeff or someone else earlier who asked, are we going to review, I guess, Black women have disdain for Black men? I think,
I just kind of threw that out there. But just looking at these clips in the backgrounds of it, it was like the question was kind of like a setup. And you see how they keep baiting this guy as I'm married, so I can speak on my past. I was that guy. I wasn't the chase a girl down. I'm gonna say it. I feel like I'm an attractive guy, so I'm going to go for who's attracted to me. I'm not chasing down. But they kept trying to press him to get to basically say, yeah, I like white women. I forget y'all Black women. And the question was, now let me ask you this. So if you think, do you believe or do you think that if you date outside of your race, you have self-hate?
No. I think if you exclusively date outside, as in you only want to date your own group, I think that you have a percentage of self-hate. I think unfortunately, I think even Black people who date Black people have self-hate. I think it's impossible.
I don't get that. How's that? Okay, go ahead. I don't get how if you just like a certain thing. Like I prefer.
Oh, of course. Without question.
I don't think this.
I'll explain. If you're if you're from a community group where you have a certain phenotype, certain aesthetic, certain cultural collective norm, right? And when it comes to you're picking someone who you're going to dedicate your entire life to and provide for, and is the love of your life, right? And start families with whatever. And that person isn't part of your community group. Then that means you're happy to fund another community group. You're also happy to start the process of going from one community to another. Meaning, if you're a black man and you're marrying a Japanese woman, if your children marry Japanese children and so forth, then you are now starting the process of having them become Japanese. And you're just a great-great-granddad on the picture and say, you remember, my great-great-granddad was once black, right? And all your assets and resources that you started in life is now Japanese owned or white owned, whoever you marry, right? So that is a deep psychological thing that, once again, black men, we're not as collectively adequate at functioning functioning like institutions and this is very new to us. But if you were to have this conversation with other groups, they understand it automatically. Yeah, here in the UK we have Asian community because England colonized Africa, Caribbean, and obviously Asia. And the Asian is more so that they call them South Asians. But when they come to England, they pretty much know they have arranged marriages. So it's like we're going to pick your wife for you because we have these institutions and these ideas that they need to go generation wealth. For that when your kids are older, they're going to inherit things, and their kids are going to inherit things. Black people, we don't have that. Most things we do, we give away. We create things.
That has more to do with heritage. Inheritance is as opposed to me hating myself. It's like, okay, I come from a poor community, but I come from a 2-parent home. So does that say I hate my neighbors because I'm better than them because they come from single parents home?
So what it is, brother, is it's when you're a black person, you are a person. If you're aware you're black, as in you live in the world and you're aware you are registered as black, that means there's a history of how black people are treated. There's a history of where black people find themselves, right? All that exists, right? And what you perceive as normal, yeah, might not be normal, but we have adapted to what the legacy of anti-blackness is. So there's certain activities we do that we might deem as normal, but you could register it as a form of self-hate, right? And this works for black women and black men. Matter of fact, even the topic we were talking about before with fashion choices, some people connect certain choices there to self-hate, but when you talk to some of those people who do it, they'll never register that. Are you saying because I do this is self-hate? It is the history of why it was caused and how we've normalized certain behavioral patterns. But I'm saying,
okay, I get what you're saying. I get.
Yeah, marriage. When we watch Walt Disney, marriage is like, yeah, it's because I walk in a castle, I see a princess, and we marry them. However, historically, marriage was never that. It was how you sustain the people group, how you sustain wealth, how you create a family group and legacy, right? And if you're saying that when I look to the heavens and the best of the best that the world can provide me, that I call my preference is not me, then that means that the campaigning that the enemy of black people did was successful to the point where the black man is once again very whimsical, not knowing like, what do you mean? It's just a preference, right? If you don't own any media system, right, which we don't, and the enemies of your people who conquered you own all the media system, and they are betraying the best of the best as their women. They are creating religious documents, and in those religious documents, all the angels and the higher prophets are all European, even though that's not where the place took place, right? And they have all these words that represent what they are as supreme and what you are as inferior. When you do this and it happens generation, you can actually just casually think you are inferior and not even know you're thinking it. You don't even know you're thinking it. It's like it's just.
I think that's a mindset. If you intentionally marry outside of your race to be like, hey, because I don't want to be like my people. Yeah, but you can't really put it like that and just like, well, if that's prime example. This guy over here named LeVar Ball. His children, he campaigned for all of them to be in the NBA. He intentionally, hey, for like you were saying, for my generation wealth and for this family name and legacy, I'm going to marry this woman because I want my kids to be like this. He played, I think, football and basketball, and the wife he married, I think she played volleyball. Two athletes to get together to create what he created. And okay, you're speaking on generational wealth and inheritance. He's living it now, but he had to have a preference. He was intentional about it. Ain't like it was a one night stand and we just gonna make this we start having kids, so we just gonna we go make a family out of it. But like, no, he was like, hey, I want some athletes. We want to be this, and so this is what he got, and this is what he created, and he was intentional about it.
Let's back and forth. I don't know this gentleman, but is he a black man, right?
Yeah.
Did he marry a black woman?
No.
Okay. So what you said?
No, that's what I'm saying. He was intentional. I'm saying if you intentional about what you're trying to do, but at the same time, it played out into what you're talking about for is the wealth.
Very shocking, and you must forgive me for this, right?
So what now?
I'm about to say what I'm about to say is very shocking. I say it one time I go to discuss and talk and debate. Black people are collectively inadequate, and what that means is we don't even know we're losing. We don't even know. We don't even know that we will stand with chest and say things that are against our betterment, and we don't know it. Right now, I'm saying that if trying, the things our minds have already been, the pillars of our mind have already been shifted. All right, but if our preference is not the inclusion of our own people group, as in, I'm not closing my eyes and picking someone. I'm just like, this is my preference. If it's not within your people group, all right, then unfortunately, this is a byproduct of anti-black campaigning that is successful.
Nah, we just have to disagree on that one. But I get what you're saying, but I don't think that.
So you're telling me there's gonna be a black man and he has no love, no attraction or bonding with the woman in his community group. He doesn't have that, right? He has it, but he just so happens usually to the woman who belongs to the group that conquered it. And for you, this is normal. This is normal. This is not there is no love, there is no color. You close your eyes, you open it, your wife's in your house, everything's good. What I'm saying is only black men speak this way because black men haven't recovered from being conquered by white men. White men are collectively superior to black men. Black men are collectively inferior to white men, right? Now, this sounds very shocking when I say it, but every time a black man talks to me about preferences and all this other zippity-doo-dah stuff, I must keep saying that. And then they can never say, no, we can compete. We can't. Because you can't compete if you can't put your people first. Let me tell you something, right? All these European women that these black men love and cherish, does any one of those white women support reparations? Does any one of them support reparations?
I can't speak on it, but probably not. But if you're married to an athlete, he don't need reparations. So
you're saying good stuff, and we're going back and forth with it. Because remember, all I'm trying to demonstrate is black men are collectively inadequate. That's what I'm trying to explain. I hope I'm being successful at this. So so now we've demonstrated that the angelic, the most superior white woman, even though she's beautiful and she's a unique one individual, she still manages to think as a collective when it comes to her economic base. Meaning, even though I love this great black man of all time, I'm not going to agree to giving him reparations for what my ancestors did to him. But I do love him, and I'm going to take his wealth anyway, right? So, but our black men, we're going to make excuses for that because black men are collectively inadequate, while white men are collectively inadequate. And the way
exactly, but to this, and like I said, we don't have to go back and forth. But the reason why these black athletes are marrying the white women, because guess what? They don't have to worry about her knowing her place or her being submission. You make the money, I stay in this condo, I have these babies, and I turn a blind eye to. I know you go on the road for games and when you come home, but the main goal is to be the wife, and I want to have this rich husband that's gonna take care of me, and I got this. So guess what? I'm gonna keep my mouth shut.
Brother Jeff, I can assure you, right? There are black women who dress like anime characters. There are black women who play video games. There are black women who yodel. There are black women who are vegan. There are black women who walk on handstands and do backflips, right? And when you become a billionaire, all these black women will fly towards you. Every single dynamic you want in a black woman, you will find when you become a millionaire. Okay, they're there. You'll find them immediately, right? That's how it works. There isn't one type of black. There's these black men who go, "Oh, because I'm a."
But I know what you're saying. But at the same time, in the community where they come from, it's like, okay, well, but I know have these same black women that play these video games that don't mind dating an athlete. But from what I've seen, if I get a baby by, that's a meal ticket. boom, divorcing, child support, and she's set for the rest of her life, all because they're looking at those black women they feel like the black women are looking at them as a target or a meal ticket. So they don't see the white athletes' wives doing this. They have these babies by like some of these athletes. White athletes, they have these families and whatever, but you don't hear them divorcing and going for alimony and all as much as you do with the black athletes. So they're like, okay,
hold on. We've seen in America, we've seen all the sport athletes and the acting athletes, the acting actors, whatever. The guy who played the Marvel person, whatever it was. He dated a European from England. Yeah, we've seen them be accused of certain things. They try to take all their money. We've seen it in the soccer, in American football, because obviously black men date white women at a plentiful rate. So and we see it. Yeah, we see it tremendously. But there doesn't seem to be this narrative that white women are trying to take their wealth, whatever it is. There also doesn't seem this narrative that white women, even though they love the black man tremendously, will never betray the white man by accepting reparations. You see, because black men are conquered. What I'm saying is very important. When you're conquered, you're always going to make excuses for you not doing the right thing, and you're always going to justify when other communities are showing you how they conquered you. Yeah, they conquered you by saying, "Look, white women, go with them, take their wealth, bring it back to us," right? But never agree for them to keep the wealth. Never agree to reparations. Don't even make it a topic. Let them make excuses for why you don't agree with it, right? Because we conquered them thoroughly. And what you'll see is the way they talk about each other, you won't see us do it. You won't see Asians, you won't see Mexicans, you'll see them. Do you know why? Because when we conquered them, it was by design. You can tell them this, but they're so smitten by your whiteness. They will never rebel. This is the perfect slave. This is the perfect slave. And that's what we're doing, brother. And that's because we're collectively inadequate. So and my job is to demonstrate it consistently, as I have done. And hopefully what will happen is a small group of elite black people will see that and come together to create the branding that make black men love black women like black women love black men. Because remember, if you want to destroy people, you destroy the men. You don't destroy the women. And our men have been thoroughly destroyed. And the way we communicate is a demonstration of that. And these kind of shows are demonstrate that thoroughly. You will not see a European or a Mexican or Asian man do any of the things these brothers are doing because they haven't been as thoroughly conquered. You see?
I agree. Thank you, Raven. And you touched on what I was going to actually say as well, because I don't see no other podcasts of no other races saying what we're saying to each other. You know, there's not white guys that I see dissing white women for this and that. It's only our race doing this. And to tell you the truth, it seems to be an agenda. There's an agenda. There's a paid agenda behind the scenes that's working, and I feel controlling a lot of people to say these things and make them say things. It could be someone that's saying something from a trauma place, but I feel there's an agenda, a hidden hand. That's usually the case, and people are saying stuff to just cause these kind of these problems for us. And these people, like especially Ginger J, he's someone that is known to the black community. So for him to say this, that's why it's such an uproar, because people are like, wow, you know, you're going there with it, you know. And it's just disheartening, because at the end of the day, if he's saying to other queens, he's calling them empresses, where was all of that in his outroar that he said in his cry? You know, it was just, and he even went on an attack. Nobody attacked him. Nobody was attacking men like that on the show. He just jumped up out of his seat, started attacking people for his own personal reasons, and then obviously hasn't got a black queen at home, you know. So yeah, man, like we could just call it for what it really is, like. And that's what you know, to strip all of these layers back, the truth of the matter is he made some very racial remarks, you know, and he's generalizing everyone. That's the truth what happened, and it's a shame. Really, there needs to be education, you know. There needs to be more pro-black people that's speaking on love and education and really bringing it back, you know, because we don't need podcasters like this. And this ain't the only podcast that has been doing it, that's been doing these attacks on mixed race children, on black queens, on black people. Like they know the trigger things, they know how to trigger people, and this ain't entertainment to me. I don't take it as entertainment. I don't think he's a comedian. I don't think nothing's funny about him, and I say that respectfully and disrespectfully. And you know, I'm not happy about it. So
thank you, brother. Good speak there. So first of all, let's take time to appreciate Brother Qatari as well as Brother Jeff. We've reached the end of the show, and maybe we'll continue a part 2 extension of the next week. But let's give thanks to Brother Jeff and Brother Katari for the stuff. And we want to thank Brother Jeff for giving us other perspectives that we can bounce off. And he definitely is coming from some, and he's definitely has highlighted the need for a discussion of solutions when it comes to these kind of topics that he mentioned, with the styling and the way we are communicating. And then we're going to get the women's version, so we can have actually like for like code solution case. Well, thank you, brothers. Any last 2 things you'd like to say, brothers, before we go?
No, I just want to say, I love these discussions, man. Like I said, we always looking for a solution. It's nothing personal, you know. We bouncing off each other, and I like the dialogue between 2 men. We're not getting in our feelings, you know. We just talking it out and from different perspectives. Like I said, I think you guys are in the UK. I'm over here in America, so we see different things in different ways and perspectives. So, you know, like I said, it's good for our community as far as growth and going forward. So that's all I got.
Thank you, bro. And Brother Katari?
I want to say salute to Brother Jeff out there in the States, and salute to you and your family, King. I want to say salute to Brother Raven. I want to salute to the panel, salute to Black Betterment, salute to the solution, and, you know, love to everyone, man, for real.
Thank you, brother. So before we go, big up Ash Chronicles, Katari, Ebbs, Young Zalis, big up Foster, big up Ab, big up Dominic, big up Young Zalis. I said that already. Big up Brother Katari, who was online. Obviously, big up Empress Christie. Someone needs to, okay, of course, reading that. Big up Brother Dominic, can't forget that. Big up J Star. And anyone else who's seen in a future time, we'll continue this conversation there. We'll maybe get into the code and the campaign about the solution, about this thing. We'll get in that. But until next week, everyone, Black Betterment to all, and to all Black Betterment, have a good, fantastic time. See you then. All right.